And welcome to the Mazu. Hi everybody, we're back. It's time for more Star Trek adventures on the USS Mazu with Constellation. Yay!
Yay!
Bum, 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 bum. I should have like a bunch of sound cues just set up. Just
like,
I have a home studio. I can get you some musical cues set up.
do
nice
it.
dun,
I'll just
dun,
boom.
He can write a theme song.
I could.
Right at the, oh man.
I just want some. Can we get like two
Just
Foley
over and over.
guys?
Yeah. Over and over.
I want a
That'd be great.
Tushek theme.
And then
okay.
a minor key for Tushek.
Major key for Tishek.
Tishek.
Minor.
Oh, that would be fun.
Yeah.
Right.
Vulcan, it's all minor.
You just wait, guys. In a year, we're gonna have like a full vinyl album release. It's gonna be amazing. You just wait; it'll be great. Anyways, hi. How's everybody doing? Glad you're here. Thanks for joining us. Let's get some stuff knocked out while we're here. Number one, thanks for being here. That's the best thing that you're here. Take a second. Tell your friends to come down. Just get on your social media, or text them, or call them if you're like from like 10 years ago or something. I don't know, but get in touch with your friends and say, hey, come and watch this show because it's fun. These people are awesome. And then make sure you chat and talk in the chat so we can all see everything that's going on. Let's see what else we got. If you like the show, there are a few things you can do. Number one, be here. That's it. That's the number one thing you can do. If you want to, if you look down in the doobly-doo, there are links where you can go get some shirts and things. We have the Anomalies Happen shirt, which is still awesome. Those are in the Raglan, limited quantities available, running out. So you can grab one of those things. You can also just look in the doobly-doo and there'll be some links. You can just be like, here's $1 for your time. If you just like it, just throw a little donation in there. If you really like it, you can go to Heroes of Awesome Patreon at patreon.com/Heroes of Awesome and sign up as a patron over there. These are all things you can do to help keep the lights on. So do that, because I really do need help keeping the lights on every once in a while, guys. And thanks to the patrons, everyone out there who have already helped out some. It really does make a difference. We've been able to replace some equipment recently, and that's been really great.
We have mics that work.
It's amazing.
Exciting.
It's amazing. I say that, and then we were doing sound checks. Jordan Mike went out, so cool. Anyway, hopefully that won't happen again.
I'm very powerful.
It's his voice. His voice just boom, just blew the mic.
Shatters microphones.
Anyway, I think that's pretty much it. Oh, if you're on Twitch, if you're watching live on Twitch right now, one of the things you can do is you can subscribe. If you're not already following, make sure you do that. But you can also subscribe to Twitch. And right now, it's September, brought to you by Subway.
Yeah.
All subscriptions are half price.
And you get a free sub at any Subway.
You don't actually do that.
You don't.
So it's not
Subscribe
actually
fresh.
One free sub with every sub you buy.
Yes.
Right, yes, one.
The one
get
you
that-
buy is
One you
the one.
buy is then suddenly
That's
free.
it.
It's amazing.
Right now, in exchange for currency, you can have your very own sandwich.
What a
So
deal.
take a second to sub right now. It's half as much. And why not? If you like what we're doing, it does help pay the bills. So help us pay the bills too. And if you're watching on the archive on YouTube, make sure you subscribe on YouTube as well. It doesn't cost you anything there. You just say subscribe, and then boom, you're done. So let's see. That's all the paperwork and stuff I had to get out of there. We did September. We did all the stuff. We did like, you're awesome. Thanks for being here. Tell your friends. There's some other stuff that you guys are involved in. You want to pimp out. I know that that's going on right now. I mean, Jen plays.
Yeah, Jen Brown plays, my wife. Plays video games on Twitch as well. Wednesday nights at 8:30 Central Standard Time and Sundays at about 2 p.m. Although I started having rehearsals that pushing things back, but regardless, she will be playing games both of those times, and I'll be sitting in the background making fun of her.
That's a good way to live, honestly.
Yeah.
And Cindy, you've got...
Yeah, so the film that I worked on back in February, just before we started this stream, is the trailer is up on YouTube. You can look at Rook Productions, that's R-O-O-K, like the bird or the chess piece. And then I think linked through that YouTube video, you can go to the Kickstarter for helping get the production team out to LA to sell the film so we can all get paid, which would be great. But yeah, so that's Rook Productions. The film is called Pasture, and it's a real doozy of a sci-fi horror thriller kind of thing.
I didn't know it was a sci-fi horror.
It's
It's about
Is
a
that a spoiler?
time-traveling Louis Pasteur.
Oh!
That's why it's called Pasteur.
It involves science that is not. Anyway,
It involves science and fiction.
it involves fictional
It's
science.
Fictional science, got it.
Without giving away too much, it involves
Got it.
fictional science,
No spoilers.
and it's
fine.
real creepy.
It involves
It's real spooky.
pasteurization and a fake version of pasteurization.
And I got to tear.
Vaccines cause autism. The Earth is flat.
And I got to tear up some clothes and smother hot mud on a few people, so that was real fun.
Wow.
Wait, say that again.
Into it.
Because that was sexy.
Fun fact, when it's February in Central Texas and real cold, and you've got someone running around in very little clothing and they're supposed to be covered in mud, you can make mud with coffee. And it's warm and it feels good.
I didn't think it could get sexier.
And it's a
Lovely.
nice, dark, rich brown color. So it really reads well on the camera.
Rubbing and coffee and make me run around.
Oh My goodness.
So-
I am in for this movie.
Tomorrow
doing this
I'll be
weekend.
releasing an audio-only version of this section.
Welcome to Heroes of Constellation
The
After
actor
Dark.
was also real cute, so it was a good day for me, I'm not gonna lie.
In
February in Central Texas. And it's warm and brown.
Oh,
Okay, no, that got not sexy.
bad word choice.
That's true. Moving on.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anybody else got anything they want to come about?
Not to promote, but Cindy and I have some very happy news.
Yes.
They just announced the B. Iden Payne Award nominees last night, which are like the Tonys here in Austin, for those of you who aren't from our parts. And our improv troupe, Indigo Shift, got nominated for Best Itinerant Improv Troupe, which I think is my favorite word to describe us now.
I mean, considering that we've performed outside of Austin almost as many times as we've performed in Austin in the
true.
last year.
Yeah.
It's a nicer than saying homeless.
It's got that nice troubadour vibe to it.
Yeah.
It really does.
To any of you who helped out and voted for us, thank you. And we'll see if we have more good news come November. But right now, it's just really awesome having that nomination and feeling the love. And check us out on Facebook. You can like our fan page and watch our old videos of old shows and watch us in scary ghost makeup and underwear singing weird songs. And
Covered in
Watch
coffee.
us.
I mean,
Yeah.
you know.
Yeah.
Coffee mug.
Well, congratulations, y'all. That's great. I saw that. Congratulations. It's
Thank
really,
you so
we'll keep our
much.
fingers crossed. But it's an honor to be done.
oh, absolutely, yeah.
It's a big deal. I should also mention that this show itself was actually nominated for an Emmy. So,
Whoa.
not actually true.
Congratulations.
Not actually true.
A Webby?
In a fictional
Webby?
universe.
No.
You mean like M.E.
Emmy.
Like it was nominated for a me.
Yes.
I nominated this
The speaker.
on a whiteboard. We won.
Best ever.
I don't know if we have how many Austin viewers we have, but 2 more weekends for Cyrano de Bergerac at the Scottish Rite Theater.
Right?
Yep.
Great
It's
show.
It's right north of downtown.
Just right north. Just
right north
Right
of
there.
downtown.
And not this Thursday, but the next Thursday, it is the 6th anniversary of the monthly storytelling show that I run called Testify. We are breaking the mold a little bit with our anniversary show. We normally have 5 people come tell each tells one true story from their own life. We will have 6 people, and they will each tell their version. It'll be 3 pairs of 2, with each person from the pair telling their version of a shared experience. So 2 sides, yeah, the theme is called The Same Coin, 2 sides of the same coin. And it should be exciting, and we'll have cake.
Oh, I'm there.
Well,
2-sided cake?
Hey.
It will be cookie cake.
Double-decker
Because that
cake?
is logistically, no, it's just 2 cookie cakes. But logistically, that's the easiest cake to have at an event.
It's true.
That's
It's
true.
also
Yeah.
delicious.
Yeah, that's true. Cookie cakes are a wonderful image.
Upside down cake?
Giant cookie.
That's also a cake with icing. It's just wonderful. Yeah.
Anything else? Anybody else? No?
I think we're good.
I think everything's going.
That's our show. Thank you. Good night.
Hey, thanks everybody. Good night. No, we're still here. Hello. We've learned a lot, but now it's time to get back into the Star Trek adventures. We have a new crew member on board, Liaison from the Hearth, who's on board, and he's got some thoughts going into this episode. This is his first time on a ship, y'all. This is his first time on a ship. Let's take a look.
Exciting.
Personal log. Specialist Stian Brawl. I still can't quite believe I have a title on a Federation ship. I'm overwhelmed, honored, and still a bit in disbelief that I am flying into the sea of stars that I've stared into for as long as I can remember. I wanted more than anything to ask the captain if I could have the honor of engaging the engines for our journey. I am still new to their culture and protocols and did not know if that would be inappropriate, or perhaps offensive to the helmsman. What is most likely a mundane task they do without thought would have been the highlight of my life thus far. My first few hours on board were more than I could have dreamed. A death ritual for the previous captain, which, judging by the gravity of the matter, seems like a thankfully rare occurrence. My knowledge was immediately useful in dealing with a Vulcan crew member who apparently has a Romulan-controlled second personality. We are also in pursuit of the thief who took the crystal from my people. I feel that my true journey has only just begun and already I am richer for it. I will show the Hearth that the ultimate quest for knowledge must be in unity with the rest of the universe, for each of us have a unique perspective to contribute. If we isolate ourselves, then we wither and desiccate. Despite the Hearth's unfortunate experiences trusting off-worlders thus far, I already find myself convinced more than ever that those were anomalies, and that most beings are inherently good. May I never become inured to the childlike bliss I feel, watching the stars hurtling past my window.
Lurking in the shadows. When last we left the show, we had just finished the interrogation of Tushek with the improved truth serum that they had developed. And once they had turned the Tushek personality off, Tushek didn't go away.
Whoops.
So now what, folks?
Now I will ask if I may...
Captain!
Can I please see the device immediately? The signaling device.
Take a look.
Take a look.
I'm going to try my previous theory and see if I can reverse the audio signal phase 180 degrees out of phase, hoping that that might act as a shut-off as opposed to an activation.
Fair, fair. Let's do a check on that. Let's do... How do I want to play that? Because that's kind of an engineering thing.
Oh,
let's
that's
do...
fair enough.
Yeah, let's do reason and engineering.
Can I assist?
You can assist, sure.
Engineering, so that's
Same thing, reason and engineering. We're going to still make this tough. We're going to make it a difficulty of... let's not make it too tough because it's... You were able to... Jury rig it together to make difficulty 1.
Alright, so you roll 2.
no and no.
Oh,
wow.
you can only roll
Oh, yes
2.
and yes. Sorry. That, well, I did roll that one.
Okay, good.
Wait, what?
I forget we're rolling
2
under.
successes.
Oh, okay.
I was thinking I did very
Different
bad. because I
system,
rolled low.
yes,
And I was like,
yeah.
wait, rolling low,
Low is
is
good.
good.
That's good.
So that is success for me. 2 successes.
Okay,
Successes,
so
so we get one
throw
momentum.
momentum over there. You are able to adjust the device and get it to behave as intended to reverse the polarity, if you will.
Yeah. Phase.
Phase. I'm sorry, excuse me. Reverse the phase.
Very different.
Use the right.
Nothing.
Totally
Neutron
different
flow.
gibberish word. My bad.
And then I'll see if I can deactivate her.
Tushek still seems to be there.
So we're just like seeing her signal on. We're seeing that brainwave pattn stay
Yes,
up on
that
the on the
brainwave pattern
thing.
is still there, and she's probably still smirking as well. She's a
Well,
smirker.
she's certainly doing it in real life.
So that's unfortunate.
I want
Trying to change the shape.
take a look at the scans that we've been keeping of her and see if there were any fluctuations when we like
Okay.
what happened when we tried not necessarily with the device but with the conventional way that we had been kind of shutting her down.
Okay.
What happened in that moment?
Reason and medicine check.
Okay.
Difficulty, let's say 0. Let's just let you guys get started here.
That is 2 successes. I don't think any
2
of those apply.
momentums.
Thank you.
Maybe xenobiology, but I'm not going to take an argument.
So specifically, was there anything you were looking for particularly, or
Just if anything, if there were any like fluctuations, anything out of the ordinary happened, or if it was just like we turned it and it was like no response whatsoever, like she's immune to it now.
you saw a response to the actual signal before and even after. There was actually more before than after. The after really didn't have that big of an effect. You did see a response to the signal, but it appears that for whatever reason the serum is interfering with that switch.
Okay.
The serum is in?
The serum interfered with the switch.
Now we had said that the serum
Interfered or
had.
is interfering?
Is interfering at the moment.
Okay.
So
Do we have a serum to the serum?
No, we had said that the serum was, especially this newer batch, was going to burn out of her system.
Pretty quick.
It does have
Quicker.
a faster half-life.
Okay, so like
Last
she's-
game I remember we
So we
were
had
going
said
that
she's like she's the truth effect is no longer in effect.
Right.
Can I estimate how much longer it will be?
Let's do a reason medicine check.
One success.
Cool. Add one more momentum over there.
Oh, yeah.
I just rolled a d20 to see how long it was going to be, and I rolled a 20.
But since it's reversed,
Right, no, nice try. Let's say that you're looking at a good, 10 hours.
Oh my
what?
god.
I would like to roll to drain her blood.
You're not there.
where is Morgan, by the way?
Where is Morgan? She just, popped up out of
Do
nowhere.
a
Morgan.
full blood
She just
transfusion.
crawled out of the
I mean, we don't have to put it back right away.
Are you guys having a little problem?
Captain, sidebar. At least from what I can tell, it seems that the lingering presence of the serum is perhaps having too much of an intended effect. She's remaining true to who she is, let's say, in this form at least. We won't be able to control any kind of switch for, I would estimate, at least 10 hours. I could try and work on some kind of counteracting agent, but there's no telling. I mean, this is all experimental at this point, so there's no telling exactly how it might interact with her system. But so we can either knock her out and wait and see, or
Yes.
She just pops out of the shadow.
No. We just like to drop down.
On a rope.
Mission Impossible style.
You don't even see what direction she comes from. She's just suddenly right behind you.
yeah.
She's been standing
No,
incredibly still.
I think we should put her in stasis for a minimum
Oh, are
of
you
10
actually
hours.
there now? That's, okay.
Yes.
Well, if I put her in stasis for 10 hours, then nothing's going to happen.
Nothing happens.
Yeah.
I would like to drain her blood.
We're not going to drain the
I'm
blood.
not draining her blood.
It won't do any good anyway.
Yeah.
We're just going to have to wait it out.
On the plus side, if you have any more questions for her, on the negative side,
She can lie about it now.
yeah.
She doesn't have to tell the truth. I hardly see the point. She's just going to deceive us from here on out.
We can knock her out for the duration if you don't want her to try and find any weaknesses in this cell like she did the last one.
It would be safer.
Yes.
Um,
Captain, I would recommend knocking her out.
Yes.
So, I'm assuming, do we have some means of anesthetic gas in the cell kind of thing, or do
We're
I
just
have
going to
do
hit her
this?
really hard.
Just like-
In the head.
we have an anvil in every cell.
Yeah,
every
every
drone.
cell.
Just a nice
You're
kick.
giving more
It's not really a Starfleet thing to gas their prisoners. So no, it's
Well,
not
just
really
it's
a
a
thing.
it's a safety security measure.
Sure,
You're just being
No,
rowdy.
it's not really a thing.
Okay, but she's in her two-check restraints,
just
right?
hypo.
She is in restraint. She
Okay,
did
well,
break
I'm
out
just
the other
checking
one.
if there are safer options than me having to be close to her.
Just a little at-home gas chamber.
If I
You
hadn't
weren't in
already
here when she did the last thing. It was really scary.
if I hadn't already done it after that last one when we switched her into the other cell, I am setting up. I had gotten someone to bring me extra shield emitters, and I am setting those up outside the cell.
Okay, I'll make you take an opportunity cost, so lose momentum for that. Just a one opportunity cost.
Sure.
Double bag it.
Okay, so I'm gonna.
Prepare the serum.
Well, I mean, it's just a normal sedative.
Hand it to Morgan. You'll take care of it.
Okay.
Aye, sir.
Oh, nice to see you again.
I kick her in the head.
Oh, please fight, please.
I would like to hypo spray her then. Or
Are you going to let her hypo spray you?
No, I'm gonna fight that.
Yeah, that's going to have to be a contest.
oh well, then I said kick her in the head first.
Roll melee.
She is
She
restrained.
is restrained.
That's cool. Roll melee. We'll just increase the difficulty for you a little bit.
A
A
lot.
little bit.
I need my.
This is why I wanted to flood the cell.
Well, we don't have that. We can't install it just because you said it was a good idea.
We don't have that as just an option. What happens if they riot or something?
We never
Who
had
riots on a
business riot.
Can I
It's
assist?
a brig!
It holds 7 people. It's very small.
I would like to buy a
So is the
dice.
ship. That's
Okay.
like a significant percentage
She's
of
buying a
our
die.
Also,
Yeah.
can,
population.
may I assist with my security background?
You would have to be in there with her.
Oh, I didn't know, because I thought I was still.
Not on a melee.
In the cell,
Gotcha.
Yeah,
Yeah.
on a melee, we're really not going to be able to do that. Did you want to buy any dice as well, Tushek?
Yeah, I guess I should.
Using one threat to buy die.
All
This
right.
is third one.
Let's see a fight. Let's see a fight.
Bear in mind, that's it.
This is how people fight, right?
Yes.
It's like this.
So 2 successes.
I have 2 successes.
Okay.
Oh wait, I have 3.
Well, you're using the other one.
Well, I rolled 2 and then it's security, right?
Yeah.
Does that count for this?
Do you have
I'm
a
not
focus?
Sure your question.
Do you have an applicable focus? Because you only get the double if it's. You only get the critical if you have a focus. That's
Well,
applicable.
yeah, she definitely gets 2 because I mean she rolled a 1. So
No, her dice are different, and I don't understand it.
Did she roll?
one of-
What did she roll?
she rolled a 1 and 2 16s.
Oh yeah, so the one
counts
is an
as-
automatic crit. Yes,
Is 2, right?
It's 2.
so that's 2.
But don't I always get 1 on security checks?
Was there a talent? I don't remember.
Yeah.
That seems like
Yeah.
a crazy talent.
Oh, yes. Yes.
I
that's
have
right.
a talent. I have
I
several
don't-
talents.
Forgot
I have a
about
talent in hand-to-hand combat. I have a talent in hand phasers. I have a talent in persuasion.
Those are focuses, first off, and also
have a talent
if
in
you
martial
rolled
artist.
under- what does martial artist get you?
Yeah, let's find out.
And just for futures, I do also have a talent specifically with pack tactics, which involves when I assist somebody in combat, I get some special stuff.
Fair enough. I think
am
in this
teaching
case,
them.
it's
Right,
more
right,
the
right.
fact that it is a small brig.
Yeah.
So I didn't really want.
I am
Just want
teaching
to keep that
them
in mind.
to learn what their talents are.
It's a
It's
thing.
great.
It's really once you remember what your
What
talents
my
are, and all of a sudden they
talent
start like.
They're
Yeah,
useful. It's
I
like
know.
useful.
a mechanism in the
Super.
game.
That's just it. Like,
Whereas
To give
I've
you
had
a-
mine on a printout the entire time we've been playing and only got to use one of them for the first time last
True
week.
story. I had to change one of mine with the upgrade because all of mine were so useless.
They weren't
I'm always trying to
Yeah,
find places.
I
mine
was
aren't
not
useless,
using
they're
them.
just we have had the kinds of situations that
Situations.
Well, yes, this is the fun part of the stream. We're all looking up stuff in our books.
That's my shoe with my talents on it.
This is always the
my
most exciting
sheet
part
with
of
my
Star Trek.
talents
It
on
really
it.
is, yeah.
When
when
people
they
are
look it
figuring
up.
out how to fight.
Wait, how do you?
well, I've sent it to you like twice now.
Dun,
So
dun, 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 dun.
I also
Wait.
have.
I rolled under a 3.
Okay.
It falls under one of my talents.
Legorn's like, oh,
You have sent it to me on
16.
Facebook.
I sent it to you on email, at least possibly on Facebook, but I also share. Okay. Martial artists. There are countless forms and styles of hand-to-hand combat, and the character has mastered several of them. The character's unarmed strike attacks gain the intense damage effect. If the character also has the mean right hook talent, which you don't, then both damage effect apply when effects are rolled.
So
it's a
that's an
damage
effect
thing.
thing. So it's not a.
Yeah.
So it's not a roll thing.
It's not a roll thing. So,
I am
It's
very
just
angry.
if you won the roll, then you also get to.
so with all this being said,
He doesn't
that's going
like
to be
fair
3
fights.
successes
Who
to
does?
2 successes.
This isn't a fair fight.
Because of the fact that you are bound, I'm going to take one of those away, so it'll be a tie,
Okay.
marking you as the aggressor, and in a tie, you're going to win. So go ahead and roll
close.
some challenge die.
And now you can use your thing.
Your
Your
thing.
talent.
Get some intense damage.
Intense.
What do I get
I
to
don't
do?
know what the intense damage effect
Security,
does.
security plus
Our
2.
hands are registered weapons.
Yeah.
So 7 dice.
If I fight you, and I kill you, I go to jail.
If anybody kills anybody in a fight, they go to jail. It's called manslaughter.
That's right. That's right. That's the way that works.
Oh, I would like to spend a thing to re-roll.
Is it just one to reroll?
Yeah.
Yeah, just one to reroll any number. Wow, because you had like nothing.
Wow.
Very bad. I was out last week.
That's
So. And
What was
then,
the thing called? Intense damage?
Yeah, intense damage. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 4 effect.
That's intense.
That is intense. So that's going to
But
be.
that's without intense. What does intense make it?
I don't
Intense
know
will
because my
penetrate.
computer has decided to just like choke
Just-
on itself.
Yeah.
Intense will penetrate any resistance. So I don't really think it's making that big of a difference. I'm not sure you have any resistance over there. So you're really just looking at a 6 or 5 stress? 6 stress.
6 stress with 4 effect. And her effect is, she has the knockdown effect.
Oh, yeah, knockdown as well. So you get knocked down. So you get knocked down, so you're going to be on the ground.
I would like to. Is it a hypo spray?
Yes.
I would like to hypo spray her now.
I mean, can I try to kick her? Trip
Yeah,
her?
absolutely. Absolutely. Melee.
Try to kick her.
And kick her. Kick her,
Same
sir.
thing. Anybody buying dice?
I would like to buy one more dice.
Sure.
You can buy more than one as well.
We're giving
How many
her a-
rounds before more of us can enter the fray?
Right now, they're just in a fight.
Sure.
They're in the brig fight.
Brig fight.
I'm cheering. Cheering her.
Good job, Captain.
Direct-
I'm going to use my
That's because use your direct
So,
powers. Be
I
like,
got
go punch her in the face.
two
my
complications.
inspire power.
Okay.
I got 3.
3 success. Well, okay. You clearly win this one, so roll some damage die. Or challenge die.
Oh, I could get even though,
How's that?
because I was below.
Have to get even.
I was
power.
below security, and melee combat's one of my focuses.
Okay, but you're also going to have some disadvantage because you are bound,
'Cause I'm
and
bound.
you're also
Okay.
on the ground.
Okay.
So
Yes.
FTL physics guy says
I
intense
still
damage
lose.
is her cost
Would
to
like to
avoid
spend one
injury
threat?
is increased by 1 for each effect.
Thank you.
got it. Thank you.
Wait, what happened?
Her cost to avoid an injury is increased by 1 for each effect. That's what
the
intense damage is,
damage.
according to FTL physics guy.
Thanks, FTL Physics guy.
Cool.
You're awesome. Love you, mean it.
Thanks.
Your
It's just
damage.
3 to effect.
Just 3?
Yeah. But do I get to hypo spray her yet?
You can try again. She's
Okay.
not, yeah.
I want to see her throw it like a dagger.
I mean, I can't even go anywhere, but I'm still gonna fight.
You're still going to fight. Yeah, roll a contested melee again.
Okay, I would like to buy a dice.
That's dumb. You're being dumb.
We got no more.
Yeah.
I know, with the
Throw
threat.
with the threat.
Okay.
I'll even out the threat by buying.
Got it.
3 success.
4 success.
Whoa!
Yeah, 5 actually.
What?
Oh, my.
Yeah, that was a really good roll.
Too many
Even-
success.
Even with me taking one out, you're still going to be beating her by 1. So you're able to not only keep her from hypo spraying, you can roll some damage dice because you're kicking her straight in the gut.
Two check.
Oh, dang.
1, 2, 3,
It's no good. It's no good.
8.
Ouch.
You're about to get phasered.
Yeah, no, I would like to stun her.
It's going to be her attack this time. And you can get up if you'd like to get up.
Can I try to hypo spray her?
You want to try to take the hypo spray? Yes, you can. Yeah. Wow.
I'd like to buy a dice.
Okay.
You can't.
He's
Give me
using,
threat.
Oh,
she's
gotcha.
using
The
threat.
threat. Okay.
Oh, jeez.
Yup. That's what we're doing.
4.
3. No, I'm sorry. 2.
Oh, God. Okay. Even with that, with the tie, she's the aggressive, so she's
Yeah.
going to get that. In order to hypo spray, I do want to run a check on this. So
Okay.
let's see if you can do a check. Let's make it fitness and security check.
Okay.
What's your security, Morgan?
Under damage effects.
5.
That's
5,
in his
okay.
PDF.
Yeah. 2 success.
In the page.
2 successes.
Okay, that's fine. I'm going to punish you in real life. And eventually I'm going to punish you in this game.
She is able to grab the hypo spray as she's kicking you and pushing you away. She's able to grab your arm with the hypo spray, pull you in, and as you're coming in, the hypo spray connects against your neck, and you feel the sedative going into your system.
Cool. Passing the torch.
Yeah. Second Morganth is down and out of range. I'm opening.
Yeah, I command security to fire.
Weirdly, you hear Izzy yell something that the universal translator does not translate.
Do a ranged attack.
Okay.
I'm still upset that I didn't get to kick her in the head to start out with. Because that is what I wanted to do that first time.
That's physics, guys.
And I did win that first time.
You did.
Yeah.
And I should have been able to just kick her in the head.
I think technically you did.
Physics guy thinks you should have kicked her in the head
Because
and
if I
drained
kicked
her
her in the
blood.
head,
She would have been down.
I've kicked people in the head before and they were literally knocked out.
I'm sorry.
No, I felt good about it.
Okay, good.
I mean, it wasn't.
Next
I
time, she
actually didn't feel good about it.
I
I
feel
felt really
it.
bad.
Yeah.
next time
Felt
she
a little
suggests
guilty
draining
about
blood,
it.
it's not going to seem so ludicrous.
Security and control. Okay. So 4. Okay, so that wouldn't apply there. 2 successes.
That's it. Roll some damage.
Really sympathizing to Shaq, you know, the
Oh,
not
yeah.
at control of your actions.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, too bad you're both.
Is she?
Okay.
There's so many
And
more
that's the number I
questions.
get to roll, is that right? It's been a while since
Since you fought anything?
especially range. I did a little melee last time, but let's see. That is 3 with 1 effect.
So 4 total.
Yes.
4?
Okay.
Are you down to Shaq? You've taken a decent amount of damage.
I got one left.
Got 1 left. In order for that phaser fire to go through, they would have had to bring the gate down. So the gate is open. What you doing?
It's been open, and the security officers are also should be firing, as I commanded them to.
Fair point. Fair
As I
point.
did say.
Fair point.
Also, there are 2
I'm
force
down.
fields. I set up the secondary one. I would not have set it up immediately. In
Fair,
front.
but if he's shooting somebody,
Right.
Oh, I
And he
would have
is-
let him through and then put the force field back up behind him.
you're stunned.
Okay.
We're just shooting.
Okay, fine.
Tushek drops to the ground, stunned. And a unconscious Morganth lies next to her peacefully.
I would like to
I'm so mad at you.
We're having a little sleepover.
We're not.
I'm gonna have this security rebind.
You're fine. You're okay
Okay.
on stress, right?
All right.
And
I don't need
with,
to do anything.
No.
like mana
Well,
cards.
it also is about to get wiped.
Foot.
Yeah,
because
I just wanted to make
And-
sure
I got
everything-
knocked out.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right. So I'm going to swap out, use my stimulant hypospray instead of my sedative hypospray, which is still in there. First of all, I'm going to retrieve my hypospray from
Of course.
the
Of
stun.
course.
And then I would like to go ahead and give Morganth a little stim to.
Morganth's
Bring her
eyes
around.
flutter open.
Did you shoot her?
Yes,
Thank you.
many, many times. She is currently stunned.
Captain, next time I would like to just kick her in the head to begin with.
That's not protocol, you know.
I think that we often don't follow protocol on.
Well, there's some things that I'm not going to
I'm
allow.
also going to continue my advice that we install some.
Step out of the cell,
Knockout gas.
guys. People who need to not be in the cell should leave the
We're-
cell
we're
so we
clearly
can put
doing
the
this
and then
as-
Me out of the
putting.
shell to revive me, or out of the
Okay,
cell to
good.
revive
Then
me.
I'm putting all the things back up.
Oh yeah.
We're standing over here. Izzy. What are you doing?
Didn't make it clear.
She's at a weird angle. It looks like.
No. She's
Don't worry about it.
got work.
Just
Never
some
mind.
swamp gas interfered with refraction
gas.
of.
What's the plan, y'all?
How long does a stun last?
I mean,
Is it 10 hours?
no.
Can we roll for 10 hours?
Then I would.
We should typo.
I'm about to roll. We'll give you 6.
Oh,
Hours.
wow.
6 hours.
That's a hell of a stun.
I mean, she got pretty beat up first.
And now
Yeah.
she's
True.
I mean, I had her down to 1, and then the entire security detail opened.
That's
up
true.
over
Yeah.
it.
A lot of stunning.
She's also manacled now, like here and ankles, so the chances of fighting are really low.
Yeah.
That's one of those-
or even
Well,
getting up.
Duct
So
tape,
I'm setting
Velcroed.
myself an alert
take to
reminder
the wall.
in 5 hours.
To come back.
Yes, if I'm not already here, to come back and prepare to administer
All
something
right.
if needs be.
Well, she is out. She is out, and you are all kind of at a point where you need to figure out what you're going to do. Tushek is unconscious. You are en route to, not to Romulus, but in pursuit of the runabout.
Right.
Which appears to
on
be
course.
on its way to Romulan space.
Right. So what's the plan?
I have a question. When we were using the truth serum, did we ask Tushek if they were involved in the stealing of the crystal?
Pretty sure.
Yeah.
I thought that was made pretty because like the signal went down to the surface. She said that she didn't have any assistance down there. So yes, she was the one that the signal went to the surface, activated her. She took the crystal.
Okay.
The crystal's on the
Okay.
ship.
Okay, just wanted to make sure,
Yeah,
because
yeah.
we did not cover that.
Yeah.
When
No,
I
we
was
checked.
here.
Yeah, we asked about the Kindred Heist. We asked about Arista 3. We asked about her
But
childhood
she
and
did
condition.
not do the mine attached to the
No.
ship. That was that was other sabotage.
Yes.
Yes. Still most likely the Orion,
And
though
then-
they may have been working with the Romulans to do it.
Okay.
Left hand puts her on the ship while the right hand
No,
lets
right,
Cerrone put
right.
the mine
She
on,
could
kind of
potentially
thing,
be
yeah.
another form of sabotage that
Right.
somebody else is. Yeah, cool.
She's Tal Shiar. Someone else within the Romulan government could have been responsible for the mine. You know how Tal Shiar works.
Let's just say we're in the ready room having this.
Yes, that's fine. You're in the ready room.
That this is all in character.
Cuts to.
Catching Morganth up on things were moving kind of fast with the development of the serum, so we went ahead and continued the interrogation.
Clearly.
But we have records of the entire affair.
I will go over those.
Captain, I don't know how much interrogation you would still like to do on her. I would like to, at the earliest convenience, look into the possibilities of treating and hopefully healing some of the scar tissue and possibly damaged areas that the signal was doing to her brain.
Yes,
To
of
help
course.
restore some of the damage that's been done. And hopefully that will give us some insight into how best to treat and proceed this phenomenon within her neurological structure.
And from what we discussed previously, this should help her access Tushek's memories.
Yes. I'm
Giving us
hoping
more
in
insight.
the longest of terms, I would like to, if I know now is not exactly the best or most ideal time, to bring on new crew members, present company excluded, of course. But I think it would behoove us at our earliest availability to avail ourselves of a counselor on board to begin to help her accept and even integrate this fractured persona and understand what happened to create it in the first place. It's not my particular field of expertise, and Lord knows I could use some therapy myself, so I think it would be an all-around win to have someone fulfilling that position on board.
Was the second personality always antagonistic? Was that something that the Romulans used to their advantage, or was that something that they created?
It sounded like she had anger management issues as a child,
Oh, how interesting.
which would suggest that the second personality was always
I'm sure that went well,
quite aggressive.
over
yes.
well on Vulcan.
Oh, she mentioned that her father had to pull some strings so that she wasn't kicked out of the academy. I would like to review her Starfleet record, please.
Sure. I wonder if those are redacted. Actually, let me look. High or low?
I
Okay. If it is 11 to 20, they're open. If it's 10 or below, it's restricted. 16.
all right. That's open.
Yep.
All right.
I also think while we've routed out at least one mole and possible infiltrator, I think we do need to look into the possibility that while the Romulans programmed her to sabotage our ship, someone in Starfleet assigned her here.
Yeah.
Yes,
Oh,
and
for-
assigned her to her original ship where she did similar, more insidious and less direct attacks upon the crew, but I
So
think
Tushek was present on the last ship.
Yes, was
Yes.
apparently
In an active
at
role.
least partially responsible for that captain being.
Humiliated,
Yeah.
removed from
Yeah.
service.
excommunicated, as it were. So whoever was in charge of her being assigned to this ship,
She does appear to have a handler within Starfleet.
Yeah.
we need to root that person out.
We
as
should be
quickly
able to
as
see
possible.
who assigned her.
Sure.
I wouldn't count on it necessarily being a direct.
I have espionage
Yeah, I
as
was
one of
going to
my
say all of this
focuses,
is
and
much more
can I
Morgan's
use
thing.
that?
I'm a hand her that. that
To spy on my own organization.
Well, again, her transfer is open.
Yeah.
It's clear who approved the transfer.
Yeah.
You can just look that up with the captain's permission and be like, yeah.
Captain,
Yeah, you have my permission.
thank you.
You have my permission to research this any way you see fit.
Thank you. I just really want to kick her in the head. I just feel like that's an important part of this research.
Yeah, we all want to.
And I need to look to fixing her head. So breaking it further is.
There's a really nice.
Fine.
Then fix it.
There is a really nice person in there.
She is still
don't
hours
think
in
that
there.
nice is what you attribute to a
I think it's
Vulcan.
important to remember that Tushek shares a head with Tushek.
Yes.
We don't know Tushek at all. So let's not make any judgments and make her better just because she's got a worse half. They could both be not great.
Well,
I'm really
when
mad
she
at
was
you.
under the influence of the serum
seem,
as well.
both
she-
seem duplicitous.
she
he
was
has been
unaware
very
of-
cooperative.
Yes. And while she was under the few encounters we had with Tushek while she was under the influence of the serum, didn't show any signs of nefarious intent.
So, who did assign her to the ship?
So going through the document, the Admiralty did process it. The last signature on there was an Admiral Davis. He approved it. He
Okay.
approved the transfer over.
Okay. That's our guy.
He's the guy that approved the transfer.
I know. But it's not.
I mean,
the
technically,
other
there
admiral.
Was there someone before that?
Was there someone who recommended the transfer?
Was there someone who recommended the transfer? I see what you're going for right there.
Yeah.
Who kind of put it
We just
over
need to know who she needs to kick in the head.
Oh, I know
her.
who I need to kick in.
I need to kick to Shekin. Looking through there, you do see that the request for transfer only happened a few weeks ago.
That was her request for transfer, right?
Her request for transfer happened just a few weeks ago, not too long after the ship started this entire mission.
But she had made it was more of a general request for transfer. She didn't request the Mazu specifically. Was my impression.
She
from
just
what
wanted
had said,
off
but
the other ship.
That might have been her own impression of what she had.
She submitted a request to transfer for a con position within the sector, and the Mazu had recently been searching for multiple roles. So it had come across that the Mazu was crewing up. So to give you that idea, the Mazu was known to be crewing up at this point. They were pulling people from the academy and anybody they could. It was known that that was out there. Tushek's request for transfer came after that crewing up thing started going out there.
Do we know who made the request?
Request for her to get on there?
Yeah.
Don't see that in there. You just see that it came
Oh,
across.
no, I'm sorry. Do we know if it was Tushek or Tushek who requested to transfer off of the... Do we...
Tushek herself has said that it was
Okay.
her
Her-
intent to,
okay.
because she felt she was being eyed distrustfully, I can't imagine why, by the crew on her former ship. Though that instinct and impulse may have been driven by the other
Yeah.
persona.
While this is happening, can I access that program I've got running to see to look for abnormalities? Can I access that like from a pad within the ready room, or am I
Sure.
going to have to?
No,
go
you
bit
can
and-
access that.
Okay, I want to look at the status on that.
Okay, and you're looking for abnormalities just within the systems?
Just
or-
within like system logs, and what I'm looking for specifically is either changes that were made that don't fit within normal operations, and then also anything that looks like something got scrubbed.
Okay. You definitely see what you would assume was the initial infiltration of the virus. You see that in the logs. You also see some other activity, which looks like the change of the sensor data, the one that knocked out that subspace frequency.
Okay, and when did the virus come on? That was
So when Deshek came on, you found in the log where she disabled the subspace frequencies
Okay.
sensors. Not long after that, you do see where there was access using Commander or Captain Rawls' access to get into the system to implant the virus.
and that was using Rawls access
It
then.
was using Rawls' access
And was that? But that was also shortly after she came on board.
shortly after she came on board.
All right. Interesting. Do I see anything else from before Tashak showing up? Is there anything noteworthy?
Nothing really popping up.
I would like to still be researching Tashak.
Okay.
And I would like to know what incident almost got her kicked out of the academy.
There was a incident at the academy where she got in an altercation with another cadet.
Who was the other cadet?
Let me look up his name.
Thank you.
While we are discussing this matter, and it is very pressing, I think the other matter at hand is worth addressing as well. What is our current ETA to overtaking our
Runabout?
missing runabout?
Do we have anyone other than Tashak who can fly this starship?
Oh yeah,
Oh,
Yeah.
sure.
we got 2 other people
Okay, cool.
who can just as well fly.
Oh, good.
We technically, canonically speaking, we have at least 3 other people who can fly the ship.
Oh
Well,
yeah.
4 if you count the other Endorian. So
Yeah.
yeah,
So we got we're good.
two are
I just know
on the
nobody
night
else
shift,
in this room.
but-
I'm not sure about you, but the running joke has been like, nobody can fly.
It's all NPCs.
Yeah.
It's all NPCs. No,
Everyone
Field.
except for the helms person has a con of 2 or lower.
Mine's 2 as well.
There we
You
go.
fit right in.
between McCourt and Nelson, you've got somebody that can fly the ship.
Yeah.
So
In fact, I think we upgraded one of them, didn't we?
Yes.
you did, yes. I think you upgraded both of them actually.
I think you're right.
Not surprising since this is my
Ramirez
first time
is
on a
still on
starship.
latrine duty right now. so.
Once again,
Are you still looking up her thing?
Yes.
Okay, because I have one more thing that I would also
What's your
like
thing?
to. Just for an overabundance of caution, have I noticed any abnormalities in the time? Like, has the system pinged any more abnormalities since I started running that scan?
Like within the system, any additional system access, anything like that? Mm-hmm. You are not seeing any additional access since you
And
run the
nothing
scan.
that looks like anything's been scrubbed. Nothing hinky.
No, nothing really showing up.
And the virus has been completely eradicated from our systems.
Theoretically, yes.
Okay. Seems
Seems to have been.
Seems to have been.
Yep.
Shut up.
Seems to
Laura.
have been.
If our
Just
resident
over
hacker and
here.
computer security expert wants to make a diagnostic check of that or something.
Would you like to do that?
I would.
Okay. Let's do a controlled. Insight and security.
Okay.
Difficulty 2.
2 successes. 3 successes. 2 successes.
2, 3,
2
2.
successes.
Okay. You are seeing the system is well scrubbed. You're not seeing any evidence of the virus. You've been able to look at the original code that was isolated by Izzy, compare it with what's in the system. You don't see anything else running in any of the affected subsystems anymore.
Okay.
I just, I feel foolish saying it out loud, but I am now so paranoid that I'm concerned that something might have happened during the memorial because everyone was not at their post for even that brief amount of time.
I don't think it's at all foolish or
Nope.
in the least bit misguided to be at all paranoid given our current circumstances. And prophets forbid that Davis actually had anything to do with this particular infiltration, but if that was the case, during the memorial he had
access
pretty.
Was
good
he on this
access.
ship?
No.
to.
No, but he projected himself holographically to deliver the eulogy. It was very
So
moving.
there was
but-
a nice big data stream that could have hidden something else, possibly.
Let's
like that.
let's scan the computer system.
Yeah, so we checked for a specific, I guess we checked for a specific virus. Can we check for
Just
a general?
anything else?
Yeah.
Sure. Let's go ahead and do another insight and security check.
Can I assist?
Yes. Insight and security, difficulty 2 again.
And then we'll run a ship diagnostic as well.
Okay.
2 successes.
Another success.
Yourself a momentum.
Yeah.
You don't see anything in the systems. You've checked the core systems. You don't see any strange code that doesn't seem to be there. Anything.
Can this also cover, like, I don't know, a mine on the hull of the ship?
Oh no, we've already got that automatic sweep going,
Yeah, she's got it.
as well as an automatic alert anytime that something comes through on that subspace.
Also, just to be
Frequency.
sure, like, does everybody have your phaser on you?
Well, yes. Why wouldn't I? Wait a minute.
Only my dagger.
I gave mine to Tushek. She asked very nicely. No,
Well, I only had one.
You, purple hair. What's wrong with
I'm
you?
kidding.
I only had one of my Hypo sprays there for a little bit, but I've got them both back now. So.
Okay, what else? What do you guys need to know?
Just to feel useful, I would like to study. Can I study the records we've taken of the Tushek brain patterns?
Sure.
Just to
That's
see
what
if
I'm
I
going to
can.
do. If you'd like to join me in sick bay,
Yes, I'd like to
where
look
I'm
over
heading
those and
next.
see if I can find anything that just might help us as far as patterns or ways we might be able to deal with it that I haven't already thought of.
That was exactly where I was heading next. If you want to join me.
Yes.
And do we have an ETA on our intercept with the shuttle?
Captain, you can talk to whoever's piloting right now and give you kind of
Oh,
an idea.
What's our ETA to contact?
Nelson peeks her head in. Unknown, we don't really have a location, so we're just running long-range scans to see if we can find some ship. We are getting a stronger warp signature. At the rate of warp increase, I would say we're probably a couple of hours away. We're catching up, hopefully, pretty fast.
And what's our ETA to Romulan space?
We're still a couple of days.
Okay, so we should be able to overtake.
We should be able to overtake it.
Okay,
Warp
this
8,
isn't going to be a photo finish kind of situation.
No, at Warp
Okay.
9, we should be able to overtake a Warp 4 runabout fairly quickly.
Excellent. I'm not great with numbers, so.
Where about would that interception put us, assuming
Where
that
about the
runabout
runabout?
is?
Let's see.
Running at full
Let's see where
speed.
my map's going to be here. That's
Now that the
gonna
runabout's
punch
gone
out.
walkabout,
Whereabouts?
Too close
what's
to
the
the
word
castle
about
run.
town? From all the gadabouts.
Wait, wrong universe.
By the time you actually intercept, you're probably going to be just short of Klingon space. There's a little gap between
Yeah, that
Federation and
little-
Klingon space. You'll probably be around.
Oh, dang. Did anybody tell?
Yeah, he did.
Yeah, you did. There was a communication.
So sort of heading for Narendra-ish.
No, it's Narendra's off to the east.
My computer's just really being a turn today.
Oh, you're looking at. Never mind. I thought you were talking about Narendra Station. Sorry.
Oh, that's right. Narendra Station is somewhere completely separate from
That's totally
Narendra,
separate.
isn't
The
it?
planet itself, it would be kind of that way. It's kind of like if you were looking at Archer, it'd be kind of heading more towards Archer.
Okay.
But yeah, you're probably going to be looking at a couple of hours, and you should be able to catch up with the.
Because Hearth was
runabout.
close-ish to Starbase 105, right?
Close-ish.
Okay.
Yeah.
So we were in that little.
Mm-hmm.
Is that a technical term there, Chief?
Yes.
Okay.
Because that is all a conversation that I had out loud with our non-existent.
Captain, what are the orders?
Computer.
You two to sick bay.
Yes, sir.
Update me on the situation with the potential virus and the actual virus.
Oh,
Did we already?
yeah, we figured that out. No signs of, at this point, it obviously, as we've learned, doesn't mean that something can't come up, but at this time, all of our systems are, knock on wood.
Additionally, I would have you stationed in the brig, both for security reasons and also to give you an opportunity to ask some questions of Tushek
Yes, Captain.
and to update me as to the situation of Tushek.
Yes, Captain.
Thank you.
No head kicking.
Or blood draining,
What are you working on?
I'm assuming.
Yes.
I don't think I have anything.
And I don't
That's a standing order. No.
I answer to neither of you.
Let's have
On
you,
medical issues, I do have.
return to engineering
Security
and
issue.
just monitor the situations there.
Unless you are forced
Sir,
to kick her in the head.
Crosstalk.
It's actually been a hot second since I've had any rest.
Ah, good point. Bunk up.
Thank you, sir. Let me know when we've got the shuttle.
There
within-
will be a yellow alert when we find that shuttle at the very least.
Right.
I'm looking through Tushek's records, right?
Mhm. Yes.
I do want to see if there are any gaps in time.
In the actual records itself.
Yeah. In her service record.
There aren't really any gaps in the service record. She has a pretty solid. I mean, it is an uninterrupted record from what you're seeing from Starfleet Academy on. There's no real gaps in that.
And before Starfleet Academy? What
Uh,
age did she enter Starfleet Academy?
What normal age for Vulcan is going to be mid-20s, I believe.
Okay.
Yeah. So, I mean, you can dig around through some of that, but Starfleet records are just going to have her service records.
Yeah. No, I'm just curious because presumably for her to have been programmed, that would take some time.
It's my theory is that when she was alone on that planet, that's when the infiltration took place.
Oh, sorry, she was alone on the planet.
Yes, I guess it's supposed. Things are moving very quickly. It is a Vulcan ritual.
Oh, of course, yes.
She was left alone on the planet and was gone for months. After which time she began to have headaches.
And this would have been
Around age 14, I believe.
interesting.
My guess is that she was kidnapped at the time, reprogrammed by the Romulans and returned to a planet. But again, everything I say is
Yeah.
somewhat speculation.
I would be curious, and it might be worth getting in touch with the
That would have
Vulcans
been
themselves
what? Kolinar?
about. It's pre
Cotswan.
Kolinar.
What is it?
Cotswan.
Was she singled out for a particular purpose, or is there a Romulan plan in effect to when these children are isolated and alone? If there may be other agents that need
What
to
is
be
the
routed out within both the Vulcan hierarchical
also
structure
the
and
ritual.
Starfleet itself.
This is one to purge yourself.
That
from
is, yeah.
emotions.
I will alert them and see if there's been any other situations where Vulcans have gone missing for lengths of time and perhaps reprogrammed.
And if not, then what makes our girl so special?
She is a woman. Women, really.
So, just real quick, the things that you would notice
Yeah.
about that story, one is that the Cotswan is supposed to be a very short thing, and she
Yes.
said she was missing for months.
Months, yeah.
The second thing is that she did do Kolinar,
Kolinar, yeah.
very young.
Yeah.
That's not normal for normally Vulcans. That's like Spock did that after he retired
Yeah.
from Starfleet.
Captain, I do want at least 2 additional security guards in with me in the brig.
Whatever you need.
Thank you, Captain.
Okay, so splitting off to your things, going into sick bay, going to sleep, going to the brig, passed out.
Going
I
back to my
was
quarters,
gonna
at least.
do something, but I think that's the best idea. Is
Go to
actually
sleep.
to lie down for a little while.
Yeah, you guys have been up for a couple of days straight, pretty much.
Yeah, because I did realize that I have not been back to my quarters since the incident with the crystal trying to drill through.
It's true, you haven't.
So I'm going back to my quarters and picking up all my rocks.
Clean up the mess. Yes. Okay. Okay, so you're heading back to the quarters. Let's jump down into sick bay with Stian and Cade. What's the plan, y'all?
Well, I don't know if there's anything in particular you're looking for. I want to run some diagnostics, take a look at the damaged tissue, see if there's any accumulated scar tissue or damage that we can repair, and also look at any simulations for how to not eliminate this persona, but certainly isolate it, and ways to keep it better contained.
Exactly, yes. I wanted to compare the Tashek scans versus the Tushek scans.
Absolutely.
See if we nail down specific patterns. Just look for any anomalies that might give us a better idea on ways to approach this, including things like outside the box ways we might be able to isolate the specific Tushek energy or contain it as we just basically the first stages of brainstorming, of trying to figure out how to best approach the problem, or at least formulate a couple of potential approaches.
Absolutely. So I'm going to pull up the two differing brain maps that we've developed from our scans, and start first of all looking in both models for any areas where in particular like scar tissue has accumulated or any like damaged tissue.
Okay.
If it's been like cutting into the same area over and over again, then maybe it's been cutting through scar tissue, but the area would still have.
Okay, let's do a reason and medicine check with assist from Stian. Difficulty 1, by the way.
Okay, and that is reason and medicine.
Yes.
That is 1 success. Yeah, 1 success.
I'm new. I can't help you on this one.
That's all right.
enough. That's all you need.
I've got enough.
So you need. You do see a non-trivial amount of scarring within the brain tissue itself. Brains are amazing organs, though. They adapt really well, and you see neurons growing around them and constantly rebuilding. But you do see significant scarring. It seems like whenever the brain tries to adapt, it gets cut through and scars again. The thing about that scar tissue is it is scar tissue. There's not a lot of growing through that. It's done. Now, could you remove it?
I'd like to design and run a few like diagnostic models to see the most effective way of removing it, and any consequences from that. If there's any way to stimulate regeneration or growth of those particular neurons, and particularly reestablishing those pathways, and that's it for right now.
So really you're looking for options to remove or repair?
Yes.
Okay.
Ideally both.
Ideally both. Okay.
I want to heal Tashek. I want to focus more right now on healing Tashek than the other side of the coin, which is containing Tushek.
Right. Okay. Let's do. I don't want to handle that because there's part of me that says we could do extended work. Part of me says we could do scientific theory. Part of me says we can just do a bunch of checks. Let's do a couple of checks.
Okay.
Keep things moving. First things first. Let's look about the whole removal aspect of everything. Let's do a insight and medicine check. Difficulty 2. You can assist as well. Insight and medicine.
Okay. I'm going to go ahead and buy a die just in case.
Okay.
Although that is a really good roll for me. Those are actually my 2 best stats. Huzzah. That is 4 successes.
And 1 from me.
5 successes on a
What was the
difficulty
difficulty?
2. So that'll give you 3.
Nice job.
The thing about removing brain tissue is brain tissue doesn't really regenerate very well. So you can go in and move it. It is going to be a very, very difficult procedure, and there is risk of damaging other parts of the brain that are unintended.
So is it going to be preferable then to try and stimulate growth with the scar tissue kind of inside and like have it heal and grow around?
That's maybe.
Okay.
Let's do a repair. Let's do a roll to check on the whole repair, regrow kind of thing. Let's do the same thing, insight and medicine, difficulty 2.
Okay. I'm going to go ahead and buy another one again. Okay, that is 3 successes and a complication for me.
I can't help you.
Okay, so one more momentum.
You'll gain one more momentum,
and,
but do you want to buy off that?
Yeah, let me go ahead and buy off the complication.
All right.
This is too vital right now.
So you do have the technology to essentially regrow tissue. It is still very invasive because the damaged tissue is deep within the brain. This is a surgery.
Right.
This is not something you have trained in. Could you attempt it? Sure. And I'll put a period at the end of that sentence. But you can regrow some brain tissue. It is a very, very difficult procedure. It is a very invasive procedure. You do know that the neurons can regrow. They have regrown around these things in the past.
Mm-hmm.
But
so even more so than maybe artificially regrowing anything, are there safer, perhaps even less invasive ways to stimulate her own neuron regrowth?
well, let's see if you can think of some. Let's do an insight and medicine check.
Okay.
Difficulty 3.
Okay, then I am definitely going to want to buy another die.
Another assist from Stian working over your shoulder.
Which one is that? Which say insight medicine again?
Yes.
What's his name? Stian?
You know what?
Stian.
Actually,
Stian?
Stian.
I'll let you
Well,
take a choice.
ST.
Both of you have a choice. Either daring in medicine or insight in medicine.
I'm going to take insight in medicine.
As will I.
'Cause
Okay.
It's only a difference of 1, but it's an important difference.
All right.
Just because going forward, does that apply to us both? Or
Yeah.
Okay. And I don't know your stats, so I don't know if that's preferable for you.
Yeah, it is.
Okay, so-
either way, I can't help.
Difficulty 3.
Okay.
This medicine
well, I
is
got
not
3
my
successes.
Three
so-
successes. You feel like you could possibly synthesize some kind of serum that could potentially speed things up.
Okay.
Again, it's not your field. You could probably do it. It might be a little difficult, but I think you could probably swing it.
Okay.
And that would, to be clear, that would kind of speed up things a little bit.
Sure. And based on just the diagnostic models I've been running, like just sort of extrapolating from each one, do any of them show a behavioral consequences in terms of establishing Tashek one as the dominant persona, or potentially helping to integrate the 2 personas?
That is less computery medically question
Okay.
and more a ship counselory question
Okay.
kind of thing.
Okay.
You're not seeing anything medically.
Just if any areas of the brain of it's like, oh, the morality center is more active by this one, or or something like that.
I mean, everything is essentially working the same. What you're basically
Yeah.
doing is just
fixing her
telling
brain is fixing her brain.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's just you've got 2 sections layered on top of each other, and when you stop what the machine is doing, they're eventually going to start mushing together. The result of that simulation is not going to show you.
Okay.
Yeah.
Do the models, kind of extrapolating forward, do they show a greater potential for success with the more invasive procedure, or with the just kind of here's a smoothie to help stimulate your own brain growth?
I don't think you're going to be getting that through a simulation,
Okay.
because part of that is going to be who's doing the procedure. Are you doing the procedure, or are you going to get somebody from the Vulcan Science Academy to come in and do the procedure? That's not really going to show. It's the less invasive is always safer.
Right.
So,
Well, not so much in terms of safety, because definitely want to take that into account.
Mm-hmm.
But if the reward of doing the more invasive procedure
Okay.
was greater, then that it would make it worth the greater risk. I guess
that's a discussion for the crew.
okay, but
Yeah.
there's nothing definitively, like there's not like a volleyball spike on the one model that like, this is going to do this much.
If you get an invasive brain surgery, there is risk to damaging the brain, damaging personalities, damaging higher thinking.
Right, no, absolutely.
So
I
there's
just need
that
like
risk.
a significant show of like a model.
That's going to have to be a discussion with you guys.
Okay. But like the models themselves don't show that
No.
like it's definitively, but okay, that's all I need to check on.
Just out of curiosity, how much of like the literature from the Vulcan Science Council is available to Starfleet personnel?
All of it.
And just in terms of my specialty, now brain surgery isn't necessarily, but between emergency medicine and xenobiology, like I could.
Xenobiology might help you. Emergency medicine was not help you.
Okay. And trauma surgery is more just kind of like
My legs falling off.
Yeah. I figured. Yeah, I was just like, there's surgery.
You got things.
So I've got that.
And trauma, apparently.
And trauma,
Yeah, and trauma. Well, I've got plenty of trauma. So yeah, I'm going to. So based on that, I guess I'm going to start kind of fiddling around with what kind of like serums and procedures that I could do to help stimulate and help quicken along the process of Tashek being able to access those memories and assert dominance and control over the other persona more effectively, and just healing the brain.
Okay.
In essence, so that's the work I'd like to start doing. I don't know if Stian notices anything in what I've been doing that helps.
Nothing out of the ordinary that you've already discussed. I mean, this is all. You're both kind of in the same boat on this one.
Right. I know I had overheard you had some ideas for the captain, some potentially technological workarounds to suppress or contain.
Yes, just we know the signal that activates Tushek, and perhaps we could give her basically some kind of shielding barrier, something that keeps that signal from getting to her, effectively a personal sonic shield of sorts.
Has any of the work we've done so far yielded us anything that would help, one, either artificially containing it or in any way like numbing those particular pathways to prevent...
you're not gonna be able to numb anything with this. You haven't seen anything like that. If
Right.
you're wanting to build a device that's going to do that, that's going to be an engineering problem. You're not really seeing that in here. Now you guys can try to build it. It's going to be a bunch of engineering checks.
Oh no, I would.
No, I just thought it was like, based on these, like he's going to take my records and now go down to Izzy's camera.
Right,
It's like, it's the Reading Rainbow kind of episode.
Yeah, the blocking
take
the
some
signal is going to be based on everything that you guys have already recovered and learned from the device itself. So that's something that you guys can work.
Do I have any?
Also, wasn't that the signal that just failed to do anything?
No, that was.
Well, it's also its interaction with the serum that I administered.
Yeah,
Okay.
there were two different things. There was one
We're looping Izzy's
preventing the activation signal from getting to her as like something of shielding. What I was trying to do specifically was send a phase reversed version of that signal to hopefully shut her down instead of activate her. Now, what I was about to ask is, do I have any, or at least any inklings, like do I think that maybe that still has possibility of working and it just didn't work because of the serum? Like, can I investigate that somehow to be like, do I think like, oh, that's just not going to work? Or maybe it just didn't work because of the serum interfering?
I think the only way you're going to be able to figure that out is once the serum is out of the system. Once the serum's out of the system, you can run a test again and see if it does anything, but before then, not really.
Well, I'm going to get to work on mixing this batch up and maybe grab some kit while the simulator's running in the replicator to stir things up. You're more than welcome to hang around and help, but if you've got any leads of your own you want to sniff down, I definitely won't be offended if you head out.
I think we're working in tandem on basically the same tracks of thought.
Certainly.
Although I wonder if maybe you're working more on the Tashek side. I wonder if perhaps I should be concentrating more on the flip side of that coin of how to contain Tushek or deactivate.
Yeah, it doesn't seem there are too many medically sound and certainly not ethical ways to contain or eliminate the persona. I think that's going to be a long-term battle. But as far as containing her goes, I don't see anything in here that can help me with that. I just right now my focus is on helping to check as much as possible.
Indeed.
Okay, so you guys are staying in sickbay? Let's jump down
Seems
to the
like a-
brig. Morganth.
I'll mix us up a couple of drinks.
Nice.
Morganth enters the brig with a security detail behind. We're going to say it's been a hot minute, and Tushek is starting to come to at this point.
I would like to shoot her.
Security officer, Commander? You can't just shoot her.
It's stun.
Yeah,
Set
but
to
you
stun.
can't just shoot her. She's a prisoner. Commander. Starfleet, you can't do that. Commander.
Mark, just let me really
No.
Right, but I'm going to bring this up later when something goes terribly wrong and she's running amok on the ship.
Wait,
Do that.
who were you? Who was that?
That was just one of the security
Just one of the
detail.
security guys. Okay.
I guess if she's stirring around, then my alert has gone off at that point. I'm just gonna hail down and be, Commander Morganth, how are things going down there?
Well, not exactly as I'd hoped.
No head kicking.
I didn't even try.
All right. Well, if she's coming around,
She's coming around.
Point of clarification. You did say that it would take 6 hours for
I
her
know,
to wake up.
but I don't want to have
Yeah.
Morgan
2
sit
hours
there.
to-
I don't want to have
Okay.
Morgan
6
sit
hours have
there.
passed.
Here's the
so-
deal.
Well, but
At
we
the
were supposed
5
to
hour
intercept
point,
it
Yeah, I
2
know.
hours.
I understand, but I wanted
Okay.
to jump this
Okay,
way
she's
first.
just- okay.
We're just going to play with the time.
Let's
a
be
little
very
bit.
clear.
Just making
if I had the option, I would stun her every single time that she moved, and I realize that is not an interesting game, but it is exactly what I would do until the 10 hours were up. In fact, I would go in a little early and just knock her out even more.
Well, this is what I was going to say, is that because at the 5 hour mark would be where my alert goes off, and I would be like, do you need
Okay, never
further
mind. We're going to
sedative?
rewind and we're going to intercept with the shuttle. That way we don't have to worry about that stuff again. So we're going to rewind, we're going to intercept the shuttle. Then we'll get down into the brig.
I'll prep you some sedatives so you don't have the ethical...
Nelson pings you in your ready
well,
room.
your men do, apparently.
Nelson pings you in your ready room. Captain, I think we've got a lock on the shuttle.
Yellow alert.
Yellow alert.
Alright.
Breep.
I'm gonna go out on deck.
And I've set an alert for that, so I'm awake. And Captain, would you rather me in the engineering of the bridge?
Let's bring you up to the bridge now.
Cool.
Okay, you're heading up to the bridge. You are closing. Long-range scans do show that there's a runabout still traveling at warp 4. The Mazu is still cruising at warp 9, pursuing, and closing quickly.
I would also like to calm the captain's back. Captain, being that this is one of my primary reasons for being an envoy on this ship, I would like to join you if that is.
Yes, I need you on the bridge.
Thank you. Be right there.
Morganth as well.
Yes, Captain? I would like to put an extra 2 people. There are 4 people in the brig.
4 people in the brig. Got it.
All right.
And I have given them permission
To shoot
Kick her
her.
in the
to
head.
fire. No, I would like to do that personally.
I'm gonna
But
say-
they can stun her if necessary.
Gotcha.
Okay.
I'm going to send one of my just personnel in sickbay down to the brig with like extra sedative cartridges. for
Oh,
when
man,
she-
George never left. He's been sitting there monitoring her the whole time.
George.
Well, yeah, but George can't cut. Yeah, he's got. All right, so they're going to bring them to George.
Okay, all right, fair enough.
Yeah.
Okay, so we got 4 people in the brig and George for sedatives.
4 people in security and George in the brig.
Shot him.
When all you really need is George. But
Actually, I just
In the
would
back.
like to remind George that she shot him
Twice.
I know.
twice.
I know. I know. Thanks for reminding me, Commander.
Just at the slightest of provocation.
Sure.
If it even looks like,
Sure.
yeah,
Yeah, I'll have the security guards do it because I can't hit the broadside of a barn.
sure.
Yeah.
But just at you're monitoring
Yep.
at the slightest
Uh-huh.
provocative brainwave.
Okay. Well, they're
Yeah.
all provocative brainwaves.
Well, then there we go. Justification. investigation.
Okay, well, yes. Okay, noted. Noted, Commander.
Gonna come back later and she's just sort of a toasted pile of ash.
She twitched.
She wants you to rig up some boot launching phasers so she can kick in the head and
All
shoot
right,
at the same time.
you guys all approach. You do get on the bridge. Like I said, the ship is closing in on the runabout. It is coming in fairly quickly. Still cruising at warp 4.
Hail the ship.
You're hailing, and there's no response.
Can we tractor beam it?
Can we track the
We can tractor at warp.
Sure.
We just have to match speed.
Yep.
And it's what, warp 4?
Yeah.
It's a warp 4.
Like we have to match speed anyway,
Nelson,
otherwise
match
we
speed.
You just go right past it.
Morgan,
Captain.
prepare the tractor beam.
Yes, Captain.
All right. Nelson does bring you in fairly close to the runabout, pulls you up alongside, so it's just off the port side of the ship. Matches at warp 4. Captain, we're in position for a tractor.
Can I attempt to send some sort of... Can I send like a kill command?
If you have the access codes to the shuttle, which you do have access codes to the shuttle, you can
Okay.
attempt to take remote control of it.
Yeah, I would like to try that first just because I'm worried about the shuttle being otherwise booby-trapped.
Good thinking.
Could that affect it? Would that affect a tractor beam? Could we have it in stasis or not in stasis, but can we put the tractor beam on it and then run the?
It's just that if... I guess we would be relatively safe
Let's do
tractoring
that
it
then.
first.
Let's track.
I'd rather stop it. I'd
Yes.
rather get it under our control and then.
Engage tractor beam.
Okay, tractor beam is going to be difficulty 2, control and security, ship assist of structure and security.
Hey, I'm gonna roll for the ship. I want to roll for the ship.
Thanks, ship.
I want to roll for the ship. What was it again?
Structure and security.
Structure, security. Ooh, that's not bad.
One success.
One success.
Ooh, just got it.
Successes.
You are able to lock a tractor beam on. You're still going at warp 4, but you do have control over the ship's attitude and direction and everything at this point.
Okay. Then
Commander?
I would like to try to try to take over control.
Okay, so you are able to pull up the command codes from there. Let's go ahead and, how do we want to do that? Let us do a control and engineering check with a ship assist. Ship assist, let's do computers and security. Difficulty 1.
Well, we got one.
I got one.
Got one?
Yeah.
That's just one.
Good enough. You broadcast the kills, but it's not responding. For whatever reason, they're not accepting the codes.
That doesn't surprise me. All right.
Let's bring this out of warp.
Okay. Nelson slowly brings you out at warp, so you suddenly don't have this thing going at warp speed, but slowly drags both of them out of warp. The runabout is struggling, though. It's still going at warp.
Yeah,
Even though
we're
you've got a
gonna-
tractor beam, it's
going to continue
gonna keep
we
going.
we have to disable it first.
How do you propose we disable it?
Shoot it.
Okay.
5 phases on engine.
Captain,
Just to disable.
Captain, shields aren't up.
What, on our ship?
No, on the runabout, the shields aren't up.
Well, can we do a precise...
A strategic aim for just the engines.
Okay. Yeah, we can do an attack on that. It's going to be a little more difficult. We're going to increase difficulty by 1, but we'll do an attack. Yeah.
Unless someone has something else to propose.
It's fine. I'd like to buy dice.
I'll have to do a threat.
So difficulty is going to be 3. It's going to take 1 power.
Do I get a ship assist?
Yes.
Okay.
Ship assist is whatever the ship
Oh,
assist is.
and then you said 1 power.
Yep, it's going to take 1 power on that.
Is it phaser banks?
Yep.
Okay. But that's not... Sorry. I haven't done this before. It says name type phaser banks, and next to it says 9. Is that what I'm trying to get?
No, that's the effect.
No,
Okay,
sorry.
so then it's secured, or
It's-
weapons and
Right, your fire weapons are control and security. Ship assist is weapons and security.
weapon security. Okay, great. Okay. Let's do it. Oh, 2 successes. Wait,
Assuming she got
1, 2, 3,
Sounds like-
4.
That's a lot of
I
successes.
got 1.
Okay.
So that's.
For the
Yeah. So that's a critical for the ship. And
I
then
got
you got
one. Yeah, I got.
So you had 6 successes on that?
And it's difficulty.
4 momentum. I'm sorry, 3 momentum. 3 momentum. I'm sorry.
Okay, yeah.
Was it difficulty 3?
Yeah.
Yeah, roll some damage.
Was it 9? What is it?
I believe it's 9 on that
It
one.
says 9.
Yeah, it's 9.
9?
But we're trying not to.
We're trying not to destroy it.
We just want to disable.
Yes, Danny.
We just really want those engines to stop.
The shuttle
I
explodes.
just want the warp core to stop. Stop.
Okay, I think it's gonna stop.
Oh, God. What you got?
Where was this when I wanted to
Right.
pick you?
The dice give it and the dice take it away.
10 free effect.
Can we please say that we didn't blow up the shuttle because we were actively trying not to blow up the shuttle?
You did not blow up the ship.
You vaporized the ship.
it doesn't have time to blow up.
So you
Gone.
said 10, right?
Yeah, 10 free effect.
Woof.
Very precise strikes.
All the shuttles on
The 10 points are evenly distributed among
Yeah,
the missiles.
you hit the runabout. The shields immediately. Oh yeah, shields weren't even up.
No shit.
Oh, jeez, whiskers. Ship drops out of warp immediately. You hit that, and the engines just immediately go offline and drops out of warp.
Would you recommend a boarding party or bringing it aboard and then taking it?
I would like to not bring it aboard the ship just yet. I would like to scan the ship and see if I can find the crystal.
Looks like it's time for you to do some work.
Excellent.
Scan the ship.
Gladly, sir.
All right.
Do you want me to scan or him to scan?
Science
Let
officer.
him do it.
Yep.
Cool. That's true. That is his job.
That's his job.
That's
Let's
my
do
job.
a reason and science check with a ship assist of ship assist of sensors and science. And we will do a difficulty of 2 on this one.
I would also like to buy a die.
You want to buy a die?
Yes.
Okay.
Here
we go. Oh, good. I'm glad you did.
Oh,
3
nice.
successes.
Perfect. Give yourself a momentum back on that one.
Actually, due to my talent, give us 2, I think. Let me double check that.
What's your
my
talent?
Untapped potential is...
Yes.
Even I had time I succeeded a task for which I bought 1 or more additional dice. I receive a bonus momentum equal to the roll. So I get to roll to see how much bonus momentum we get. I guess that's none.
Yeah.
That would be nice. There you go. There you go.
Nice try.
It was a good try. It was a good try. But hey, you got your momentum back. You do a scan. You do find that telltale signal of that crystal that would have been on Hearth on the ship itself.
Any life signs?
No life signs.
The crystal was driving the ship.
The whole time.
She programmed the ship
crystal
to take the
stole
crystal.
it.
There's just a brick, rubber banded to the helm.
Yeah, that's how it works. That's how spaceships work.
That's totally how it
The
works.
brick and hot wire. It's like the wires hanging out. Okay. Well, I don't think we're in any danger if there's no life signs aboard, and we didn't find any explosives or
Didn't see anything.
nothing overheating or
Nothing out of the ordinary like that.
Alright.
Can I also do a check?
4.
Security threats.
Sentient beings?
Oh, like you're
Oh.
kind of like sensing
Psychic
stuff
scan.
going on? Sure, why not? Well, sure.
This
Yeah,
is
do
a
your thing.
different type of.
Let's
sensor
do.
scan. The ship can't help you.
I don't want to do that.
No, we built Cerebro.
Oh, did we?
Let's
in the
do.
Hollow Suite.
Let's do insight and let's do insight and medicine.
Okay.
Yeah, Mark. Let's do that.
Yeah, let's do insight.
Why don't we do that more often?
I don't know. We should.
3
do-
successes.
3 successes. In insight.
Actually,
9.
could be. I have a focus in espionage. And this is spying. This is spying telepathy and not helping telepathy.
No. 3 successes. Add 2 more on there. We'll do difficulty.
I think he did good anyway.
You did great. You did
Maybe
fine.
that's fine, but
You did fine.
Better is always better.
You did
She
fine.
wants that last slot of momentum.
You are not getting any type of signal at all of anything sentient on board the ship.
Okay.
Security officer, recommendations?
Um,
Seems that there's no threat.
I personally see it as likely to be dangerous both ways.
You make the choice.
Do we have a particularly fortified
Shuttle bay?
shuttle bay at this point?
No.
Okay.
I will happily volunteer for an away team to build a ship. We must get that crystal back.
Can I beam the crystal here?
Let's try, sure.
Would you like me to try to beam the crystal back?
We're just going to bring the whole ship back at some point.
Captain, would you prefer to bring the ship on board rather than send a party? I see both as being potentially risky. So at this point, I don't see one as better than the other.
We're going to send people to the ship first. No,
I know.
To be clear, if we lose a few people, it's better than losing the whole ship in case there is sabotage that we haven't detected. Put together a team.
Yes, Captain.
And if you want to go to verify the safety of the crystal,
I would very much like to be a part of this away team.
you're
And
on it.
Just so you know, I do have somewhat of a background in security details and such myself, so I'm not merely dead weight.
We'll see.
Indeed.
Ooh. You should have a sparring match. Okay, you get your team together. How many people are you coming with? It's small. It's runabout, not a ton of room.
3.
3. So you, 3 more, and Stian. So 5 total?
I think 4.
4 total.
Yeah.
You, 2 security,
Yeah.
Stian. Okay. You gather your team together. I'm assuming transporter, or are you going to shuttle over?
I was going to say transporter. It's really your call. This is your security mission, so you can do it however you want.
Oh, Captain. I think we've established that no. I cannot.
Is it involve kicking me in the head?
It still somehow does. It's a bullet point in the plan. Fine to
I
check.
said this mission that you're into.
We
transport a
can
boot
transport.
just over
I
here?
think that we've been having all sorts of issues with shuttles. So let's transport.
My first transport.
Okay.
Or I'll
Okay.
probably transport it up to the ship.
Yeah, you did.
Yeah.
Second really exciting transport.
Yeah, exactly.
You go to the transporter room with a team. You're armed. Transport over to the runabout. Once you arrive on the runabout, aside from the fact that there is clearly some damage to the engines, the runabout seems to be empty.
Is there a brick?
There's a brick tied to the. There's no brick.
The accelerator.
Space brick.
Is the crystal within?
No, you don't see the crystal there.
Okay. I think I want our first hack just to be sure that there are no entities on board before we look for the crystal.
Mm-hmm.
So I would like for everybody to be doing a sweep for
Okay,
any hidden people.
let's do just for fun. Let's do a presence and security check.
Just her.
You can do it as well.
Cool. Nope, missed the box. Success for me. Oh, I only rolled 1 die. But ooh,
2 successes.
is that a 1 or a 20?
That's a 1. That's a crit.
Then that's a crit and a success.
Fabulous.
that's 3
You do a
successes.
full sweep of the runabout. Your security team, Stian, and yourself do a full sweep of the
Did we
runabout.
get any? What was the difficulty?
Difficulty on that was going to be 1.
Okay.
I had 3 separate rolls going on. Everybody succeeded. I don't
Okay.
want to throw like 20 momentum on there. You can fill it up. You can
All right,
fill
here
it
we
I was
go.
going to say, we only have room for the one more.
This feels good.
It does feel good to have that, yeah. Everybody completes the sweep. It's a relatively small runabout, but you don't find any life forms on board.
Okay. I guess now we look for the crystal.
Okay, where are you going to look?
He is very eager for that.
Did we get anything from the scan?
Yeah, I was about to say.
You
can
said
I-
it was on the ship. I mean, you can scan. You can tricorder.
Yeah, I was about to say,
Yeah.
can my
Yeah.
tricorder do anything?
I will let our science officer lead on this one.
How about a
Or dowsing
reason?
rods.
Reason in science.
Reason
Difficulty 0.
Can I assist?
Sure.
One success for me.
One success.
Cool. You are scanning the ship. You are starting to get the signal. It appears to be somewhere overhead. Probably pop off a panel and see what's up there.
Yeah, we're gonna pop off a panel.
Let's
Pop off
that
that
panel.
Cool. Popping off
Pop
the panel,
off.
there are Jeffries tubes up there. There are some small Jeffries tubes that run the length of the runabout as well. If you crawl up there and you look down farther along the Jeffries tube, you do see the crystal sitting in the middle of the Jeffries tube.
It just feels like a trap.
It does. But I want that crystal. What is your recommendation?
Can we do a sense for any sort of sabotage or?
Could do another reason in science check.
Yeah,
Reason
and-
in science.
Check for traps.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I would like to check for traps.
Sounds like a completely different game.
Let's hold on. Let's take lead and assist.
Oh, okay.
So just roll one. You roll.
And that was. I'm sorry. Say it again.
Reason in science.
Success for me.
Okay. 3 successes.
Okay, you're still full. You don't seem to see anything that's going to suggest
It's that word seem.
No, you don't see anything that would be a trap. It's hard not to say seems. You don't see anything that would be a trap.
Okay.
Permission to retrieve the crystal.
Oh, granted.
Crawl up, crawl up
let
into
you,
the
buddy.
Jeffries tube. Low crawl your way across. Crystal is right there.
I want to, before I hastily grab it, just is there any last minute little scans, checks around it to make
You
sure
can
it's
scan
not
a third time just to make sure.
I mean, if I think there's anything I can glean that I haven't already gleaned from scanning.
There's not going to be.
I'm going to grab the damn crystal.
Can I
Because,
scan to glean?
It's a glean to scan.
You grab the crystal.
And now his character's completed his mission.
See, I'm going back home.
Thanks for being on the show.
It's an Indiana Jones situation. When the crystal is lifted, the weight
Right.
triggers a
A big-
boulder.
Small boulder rolling down the Jeffries tube.
An asteroid comes out.
As I low backward crawl as fast as I can.
Okay.
I would like to. Do we have lines of communication open?
Sure.
To the
Yeah,
bridge?
you can call the bridge.
Captain, we have located and acquired the crystal.
Any other dangers aboard the ship? The shuttle?
Well, we've scanned
Multiple times, I assume.
twice.
And let me tell you,
Scanned and gleaned.
we have scanned so
Can,
well.
can you manually see if you can just shut down the shuttle, take control of it?
I would like to take control of the shuttle.
Sure, you can sit down and pilot that thing.
Well, no.
Once you take the brick off.
Nobody can pilot it.
You can.
No, the engineering.
The engine's
blew
dead.
up the
Oh, the
engine.
end. Well,
Well, no,
yeah.
the warp
you have,
engine. The warp engine
You
is
have
dead.
maneuvering thrusters.
Okay, gotcha.
You can use maneuvering thrusters to maneuver the ship.
Also, just take a quick look at the computers and make sure it doesn't look, virusy, maybe.
Can do a maneuver.
Can I? Okay. Oh, can I scan the computers?
Sure.
I'm gonna put one of the security people who has a higher con than I do. So it's anyone. In the
Let's see.
Okay.
pilot seat, but I would like to do a check on the systems, on the computer systems.
Okay. Do an insight and security.
Oh, it is 2 fails.
Fails. You don't see.
Great.
You don't see anything in the systems, and
It seems like you don't see
Yeah, it seems like it's
one of the
fine.
security personnel sits down at the con and is like, "Man, I don't know what I'm doing. They're worse than you."
Yeah.
What's your
What would you? How would you like me to take control of this? What would you like me? Is it a matter of bringing it back onto the ship?
Well, that would be. You could, or we could just use the tractor. beam.
Because I'm sorry. Recommendation. Tractor beam it in. Can you energize us off? Can you beam us off before before you do that?
Certainly.
Like right now. Can you just beam us off right now before something really bad happens?
Forward beam over.
Transporter beams them back onto the Mazu.
And we'll use the tractor beam to pull him back to the
Pull
ship.
that back in. You guys shouldn't be afraid of maneuvering. Difficulty 0.
I kind of wanted to try. Honestly. It's exciting.
Yeah,
for
it's
me.
like, I gotta
No, you just don't know. You haven't been here.
No, I don't
You
know.
don't know.
That's what I'm gonna
You
find
do
out.
tractor the shuttle into shuttle bay number 1.
Actually, in all fairness, this is just how our captain died.
True story.
True story. You pull it back into shuttle bay number 1, and it sits there waiting.
Which is Manchester.
Okay.
Ominously.
I basically go, is he?
I would like a small security detail and a couple of engineers to accompany me to Shuttle Bay 1, and I just want to go.
You have the security detail that just...
Yeah. So basically, I'm just looking to just shut the whole thing down. Just turn it off.
Okay.
And then I'm gonna turn it back on in safe mode and make sure that there's no lingering traps, and I'm not connecting it to the ship computer at all until I am quite certain that there is nothing hinky waiting on that shuttle.
You go through the entire process. You shut it down, hard reboot, all the systems on there.
F5.
Everything seems to be fine.
Run a scan for like hidden explosives,
You don't find any.
like
Tiny people!
There's nothing.
They're not obvious explosives.
a tracking device of any sort.
Belligerent children.
You
We're
find.
searching so much for hidden things, we didn't see the explosive taped to the seat.
Has the new defensive package been messed with at all?
You see nothing like that.
Okay.
Some days you
Next
just can't get rid of a
question.
bomb.
Can we just confirm that crystal is actually the crystal?
How would you like to do that?
Just scan it and compare it to previous readings?
Yes, that's how you found it in the first place.
Just making sure.
Yep.
Yeah, just compare those
Overabundance
readings.
of caution.
So just out of curiosity, Captain, did you have a connection with the crystal? Was it only through the conduit of the
The heart.
of the heart?
The
Yeah.
I felt no.
yig.
Of the yig.
I felt no affinity for the crystal. It seemed just to be a power source.
Okay. Just
I think she meant a more literal connection, not so much a metaphysical feely connection, but yeah.
No, I never touched it.
Okay.
It was encased in
Oh,
the
it's
dome.
true. It was encased in the thing.
So now there's this weird crystal-shaped hole in my hand.
what if you touched it?
And I will if you think it would.
No, I'm just curious.
Yeah.
If there's a connection there, or if it was simply
Well, one of the something that I do need to make a priority is getting together with the chief medical officer and determining what happened to me and what the changes may mean. I still feel like myself, but
you do still sound like yourself.
yes, and I seem to be behaving as myself.
Very much so.
Captain, may I personally request, may I keep the crystal as its caretaker and its safekeeper?
You will need to ask Lieutenant Commander Izzy.
Yes, obviously. He
Then
should.
yes. I just know you have a somewhat of a personal connection.
I mean, I have my own shard, but my intention was to return this crystal back to the hearth anyway. Excuse me. So the Romulans wanted it, but Prescott's team also wanted it. I'm just wondering if there's any possible threat of someone managing to activate a similar field that but they would have to have the crystal to do that. So I don't think anyone could activate a field that would draw the crystal to it without the crystal being there in the first place. So I think we should be safe. We'll just keep it secured. I'll
Just like put it in a backpack, carry it on your body.
Well, that's why I feel it's safe with me at all times.
Get
I
like a
just
baby
fear,
Bjorn.
Even obviously due to the various forms of deception we've encountered, I just without it being
And you're
on my
definitely
person
not one of
and in
those.
my sight, I fear someone else could take it.
yes.
No.
So
I give you my trust.
I give you my
Take us
side
out of
eye.
yellow alert.
I give him a
Medical alert.
containment
As well you
vessel
should. Thank
for
you.
to keep it safe.
Very appreciated.
Captain Course?
Do we go back to Hearth, or do we continue looking for Prescott?
Prescott is a mission.
I think that, Captain, if you agree, the prioritization should be to complete our mission and then plan to return the crystal intact at the end of it.
We would just be taking the crystal towards the people who want it. So.
We will, won't we?
Could be for our benefit. Perhaps we could actually have something to bargain with instead of being walked all over. Do we have anything on Prescott from here?
Not from here. I'm curious what the delegate from Hearth feels about keeping that crystal moth on Hearth, though.
Not well. I mean, we have the crystal. It seems not returning it just leaves us rife for more danger and more chances for it to be taken and chances for people to come and attack this ship or attack us trying to take it from us. I think the safest option is to get this crystal back to Hearth as quickly as possible.
We
and
can
back
do it in a
into
matter
the
of
kindred.
hours.
Follow-up question: does Hearth have the capability to protect the crystal?
I believe so. The problem, as other people on Hearth would put it, is that we trusted people, we let people in and gave them access to the crystal, which I do not think the Hearth will likely do again in the near future.
Technologically, let's say a Romulan, I mean, we would honestly struggle if a high-level Romulan ship.
Your best defense mechanism was the power draining mechanism within the Yig that was powered when that crystal was fully intact, but it is now damaged. If someone were to launch an all-out assault on your planet to try to get the crystal from you.
So this is not the complete crystal. Out of character.
It's the crystal, it's just cracked.
Yeah,
It's cracked.
It got messed up.
a little
It was
bit.
damaged.
You're welcome.
So like, do I know?
There's a
like,
missing shard.
You would
has
know
to be-
that. You would
I mean,
know
but
that.
do I know like it's definitely like would not be functional as it is right now?
No, you don't know that.
So so it might be. We just don't know.
Don't know.
Like the last time we plugged it in, it looked like my plan had been, we turned it off. I was hoping that after cooling down for a while, the crystal might be able to give us a few more minutes of functionality. Though we could see about synthesizing, because I had toyed with the idea of trying to synthesize the crystal or otherwise repair
You had toyed with that idea.
that one.
It just seems
Did-
like all paths lead.
I mean, we definitely
Hearth,
we definitely
because-
want it going back to Hearth.
We need to find out if it can be reinstated intact and safe as it has been to this day. And if not, then we won't know that until we try.
Well, it was
to put it back in its home.
It was previously safe because of the built-in security system, and also because no one knew it was there.
And actually,
How far are we from Hearth? How many hours?
Warp 8, you're only a few hours away.
Set
Cap-
course for Hearth.
Thank you,
The
Captain.
conversation's over. The
Course set.
conversation is over. We're returning the crystal to Hearth.
Yes, Captain. On our way. Engage. Heading back to Hearth. All right. Now what?
At some point, either now or during all of this, I want to head down to the brig, meet up with George. I've got a pad with kind of the diagnostic samples that I ran, initial kind of formulations as to what the serum might look like, and I'm bringing both of us 2 tall glasses of fizzy lemonade.
Oh, fizzy lemonade.
And just want to kind of get his opinion on it since he's been studying these scans more than anybody.
Sure.
See if he's got any further insights for ways to
Sure.
enhance.
All right, Chief. What am I looking at?
Well, I had the idea based on what you were telling me about the damage done to her brain by the signal
Right.
of trying to basically stimulate her brain's own natural healing properties.
Sure.
It looked like actually going in and trying to remove the scar tissue and repair the damage more invasively wouldn't yield any greater rewards other than perhaps time. Maybe even that's questionable.
Or lobotomizing her.
Which is not an acceptable risk.
No, it's not.
Most of the diagnostic samples left that fairly vague. But so I've been looking at basically developing a supplement that she could take that would help stimulate. So over time.
I see what you're doing. Yeah, sure.
And I wanted your input since you've been studying these scans and.
Sure, I mean,
notice the damage in the first place. So
yeah, I mean, I like where you're going with this, Chief.
Oh, thanks. I appreciate your approval.
Yeah, well, you're lucky to have it.
Really?
You know, I mean, it seems like this would work. I mean, the question is, do you want it to work?
How do you mean?
Well, you're speeding up those connections. Aren't you just speeding up this merging of the two?
Well, I was hoping more so that since Tashek is the prime personality, that it would be less of a equivalent merging of kind of the two minds coming together as two halves of a whole, and more the prime personality being able to incorporate the whatever had been done to fracture this.
Sure. Yeah. Okay.
I mean, I don't know what event, if it was the Romulans themselves or if there was some trauma she experienced.
Nah, I mean, okay, so again, it wasn't my forte, but like a dissociative identity disorder normally has reciprocal memory loss, and since it's only one direction on this one, I don't think you're looking at a dissociative identity. This looks to be something that has been done to Tashek. This personality was somehow, I don't know how, those Romulans are...
I mean, either way, she underwent some kind of trauma, whether it was...
Sure, but I don't think that was there the whole time. I think it was just something that was done to her. Anyway, my point is, the personalities, we're saying that Tashek is primary, but that's just because that's who we know. If I look at these scans, when Tashek is active, this is Tashek. When Tashek is active, it's Tashek. The only thing that makes one primary or not is the fact that one of them didn't want to be found.
Well, the thing that makes Tashek more primary to me is that she's the one who was born in this body. It wasn't something that was done to her.
Okay, I get that.
Sinister operators.
Get that.
Looking to do, actively doing harm to her.
Get that.
Creating an asset.
Get that. Having said that, regardless of how it got here, isn't that personality a person?
Well, it's still part of her makeup, and the notion of consciousness is that as her brain heals itself to a more natural state and allows the personalities and allows the neural pathways to be more integrated, it makes, to my mind, a fuller Tashek.
Is it a person or a parasite?
This is programming, if anything, that was done to. This is something that needs to be healed. Just because I'm not talking about going in and removing the persona. I'm not talking about eliminating it outright. I'm talking about fixing damage that was done to a person.
What I'm trying to express is that we can do this, and those neurons will probably start building connections. But we don't know what the end result's going to be.
Okay. Out of character for a second, that was one of the things the diagnostic sample I took, the simulation, like I was saying, like extrapolating results.
You're not going to be able to extrapolate that kind of data F these simulations. This is
Okay.
super complex stuff. That is gonna be, I mean, you've got super powerful computers, but you're looking at this neural adaptation. You're looking at these neurons growing into patterns based on what her actions are 2 days from now, 6 years from now, whatever. You're not going to be able to do that kind of stuff. You basically have come to the conclusion that there are two patterns overlaid on top of each other. They've been kept separate, and as soon as you stop that process of keeping them separate, they're going to mesh. The end result of that.
Unstable Vulcan.
Well, just one of the reasons to hopefully have a counselor on board at some point.
No.
I go some anger management classes. It'll be
It's,
fine.
that's like when they give domestic abuse. They're like, anger management is you don't go to jail. This is the brig, right?
You're in the break. Are you there as well?
Yeah.
Yeah, come on in.
I'm here.
It may behoove us to confer with the Vulcan Science Council on this and get some of their. I don't know if they've encountered anything.
We
Like
can't
this
we
before.
can't actually progress with this without having to check.
No, of course. I'm
And I really
trying to get a head start.
don't
on
think.
things.
I mean,
I haven't even put it to formula yet.
psychologically reuniting dissociative personalities is one thing, but if these are two different personalities, one having been manufactured, right? They're two. What you're saying is these are two complete separate entities.
Looking at the brain scan, sure, they're just
Yeah.
completely separate.
This
from
isn't.
others.
Yeah, this
They
wouldn't
can
follow
be.
the brain patterns of somebody with a dissociative identity
Doesn't
disorder.
look like it, no. These
Right.
are two people
Separate.
living in one body.
Yeah, yeah.
Just out of curiosity, where would I be at this point? My instinct would be to set up wherever the most absolute secure place on the ship is till we get to Hearth.
You would probably be wherever her quarters are. Probably. The bridge would be the most secure place. Yeah.
And they're
You
down.
have a cot.
And they're down in the brig.
They're down the brig.
I would actually argue ethically that to mash together two personalities that have never been united would not be a feasible or desirable solution.
Well, the solution isn't so much to ideally merge them together, and this is where just I'm exploring the options. It's not creating a Tushek amalgamation. It's allowing this prime personality to subsume this programming and be able to have a measure of control and command over it rather than.
Then that's removing the programming. It's not uniting the personalities.
Okay, well, I only know how to do so much with brain science as it exists. So this is the solution I'm working with right now, unless
Unless
you have another idea. I'm just working. It's all I can do at this moment. Like, no one's injured on board, and she needs help. This is what I do. I take care of my crew. Right now, one of my crew is hurting.
Cade, I can understand why you would want to have a task and something to do and contribute. I wonder if perhaps instead of researching brain science, if you could perhaps look into the medical aspects of conditioning and programming and potentially how somebody could have programmed this. I wonder if that might be research that could be done to provide alternate.
Well, that's part of why I've advised for someone with particular training and specialty in the field of psychology to be brought on board to consult with and to speak with the Vulcans themselves, who have a better notion of how their complex minds work than anyone else. I think that both of those would provide a number of insights, none of which I'm going to be able to provide better from just scanning through Federation archives.
Do you have to wait for somebody to come onto the ship, or could you?
Well, I've advised on the psychology front that someone be brought on board. We've just been discussing contacting the Vulcans themselves to hopefully get some insights into how they think that such a program, other than questioning the Romulans themselves.
I mean, surely we have some research on particular tactics. I just wonder if it might be
I think
you
that
don't
would fall
necessarily.
more under your purview than mine.
Beg pardon?
I think that would fall more under your purview than mine.
I doubt that the medical specifics.
I think the specifications of behavioral conditioning as it pertains to developing enemy agents, sleepers within their own communities, is exactly what someone with espionage and psychic training would excel at.
I think actually that you are forgetting that often it is not the person with espionage in their background who has done the programming. Usually that's left to medical personnel. Generally, should it happen, there would always be medical oversight in this process by a doctor. All I'm saying is, and I think George actually would back me up on this.
Oh, don't get me in this. I'm gonna.
I said I think.
Okay, thanks.
The idea of simply using psychotherapy to merge the personalities, and I will say quite frankly, one of them is more aggressive than the other. There isn't necessarily a dominant personality. I just wonder if there might be another avenue where you could do research as well. Particularly around physiologically what happens with conditioning and programming.
I mean, I've been looking into everything that's been done to her. I've been looking at the scans. No, this is not something that was included in the University of Bajore's training or in the Resistance field book.
I'm so sorry.
There are experts that I have advised to bring on board. I have, as far as my expertise goes and what I am qualified to look into and understand, I'm looking into it. I'm not saying these are solutions that I'm going to apply right now. I'm looking at every possible avenue that I have to help heal her. And again, I'm not talking about throwing two personalities together and letting them see who comes out on top. I'm trying to look for solutions that allow the person who was born in this body, who was a Starfleet officer, to be able to reassert dominance over this traumatic experience that was done to her. If you question my methods or what I'm looking into, you're more than qualified to take such concerns to the captain. If there are things that you think could be better researched, then you are well within your rights to look those things up. If you want to...
Hold on. You were talking in the theoretical. I brought in some points. You asked what else you could look into that you weren't looking into, and I answered you. That escalated, and I don't think that it's about me.
No. None of this is about you. It's not about me. It's about Tashek. It's about trying to do the best for her.
Then why are you so resistant?
I'm not. I'm telling you what I've looked into and what I'm qualified to, and these particular issues, there are other more qualified people to bring in. If you'd like to look into them more immediately, then by all means. I've looked into them to the extent that I am able to, and that I understand techniques and science behind them. If you're not satisfied with the work that I've done,
I'm not grading the work that you've done.
well then, George, I'm going to leave a few of these hypos here of sedative in case she needs to be knocked out again.
I mean, she's already up.
Well, if she needs to be knocked out again, is what I'm
Okay,
saying.
all right.
If you need me,
Wow.
I'll be in sick bay continuing.
Did you just say out or up?
Well, she's up.
He said up.
Yeah, she's been up for a while.
Yeah.
I didn't want to interrupt. She's been over there listening to you guys for a while. Sorry.
That's fine. She's all yours, Commander. And I exit.
Can I shoot her?
No. Captain said no.
Kevin said now.
Mother, is that you? How's your head feeling? Seems like you and the chief are having a little problems figuring out what to do. No luck in getting rid of me? Cat's got your tongue?
I would like to have a cat.
Spot.
This is riveting.
You got any Romulan ale on you? Let's have a drink.
Captain, Commander, you okay?
Oh yeah. I'm
Okay,
great.
just making sure.
Yeah.
You just kind of seem to be like staring.
I know.
Oh, that was on purpose.
Completely.
Just making sure your head was,
That's mobile.
you know. All right.
Thank you.
Should I keep? I'm gonna do
Please
this.
continue to monitor.
I will monitor.
Thank you.
You're very welcome, Commander. Need this hypo spray?
Oh, why don't you?
No. You're much more qualified. Well,
Wow.
maybe.
I don't know.
I don't know. Right?
After the last
Yeah,
one.
that's the other commander, yeah. I saw that. That was. We'll work on it later. I'm gonna watch this for a while.
You've got a good security team. They helped you out twice now. We're having a staring contest. Are you gleaning any information?
Commander, is this some kind of like Betazoid interrogation thing or something? Is that? No? Nope, just. Okay. Still doing good, right? Now you're doing it to me. That's awkward and uncomfortable.
It is.
I don't. Is that? Oh, you're gonna do it to her until she. Oh, I don't want to give it away. I'll be over here if you need me. Right? I'm in medicine, not security. This isn't my field. But you're doing great. You keep it up.
Still buying that guy a drink.
Is it working? Oh, I'm sorry. I'm bad. I'm sorry. Looking at the thing here. Sorry, Commander.
It's really effective. I think we're gonna think the stream is broken.
It took me like 5 minutes to this dairy.
On the bridge.
Meanwhile,
On the
4
bridge.
hours later.
4 hours
I know.
later.
Where are we 6 hours in? Because yeah, it's 4 hours later.
Are you going to ask her anything? You trying to get the info out of her? Or no, you just going to hang out down there?
Oh, I think we're just hanging out right
Just
now.
hanging out? Okay, let's jump back at the bridge.
having a party.
Hey, guess who's back in Hearth now?
The ship.
A couple of hours have passed. You guys go into orbit around Hearth.
Specialist?
Yes.
You can set some motion.
When we left,
I have to check
it wasn't
though,
in
if I
the
can
most
against your,
ideal circumstances. I would accompany you, but I am afraid it would raise tensions.
I think it would be good for you to accompany me. I want this to be very clearly a joint effort between the Hearth and the Federation that recovered this artifact.
If you think that's best.
I think it is best for the long-term goals of the Hearth, though they may not see it that way, but I believe this will go a long way towards mending things.
more word shows up. Blows up this whole damn
They gotta
planet.
deal with it. They gotta deal with it on their own. They gotta grow up.
well, that's a moon.
When I was toying with the idea of synthesizing synthesizing another crystal or repairing or did I think that I had a pretty good chance of, like, even with a really long time?
You, in all of your previous stuff, you had tried to find a way to replicate this, and every
Right.
time you did, you failed.
It just okay.
Just
and
could
none
not
of the
quite
new
get it.
information.
You haven't really dug too much into those sensors since you come back. It's only been like once you pulled the sensors from the planet, there was the explosion, the crystal.
Ah.
There hasn't been a lot of time to kind of research what you found down there.
Okay, then while we were warping back, I started doing research on that and assume I don't.
You sure you still want to sleep? It's only been a few hours sleeping.
Yeah, I want to do that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't want to have a show of force, but I also don't think I should go down there.
It's your
alone.
call. Your call.
I don't think anyone would begrudge you standard protocols as a captain of a ship, reasonable protections. I mean, I don't think there's anything insulting about that personally. I would expect any captain from any race to come down with their appropriate.
Well, you know your culture better than I do. I don't want to make any assumptions. I'll calm Morganth.
Okay.
Commander Morganth,
Yes, Captain?
are you available for a brief away mission?
Of course, Captain.
All right, meet me in the transport room.
Thank you, Captain.
Should I stare at her while you're gone?
Oh, try.
Okay, I'll do that.
Thank
Thanks.
you.
Head down to transport room?
So,
She will
But-
not threaten to kick anyone in the head while we're on the planet, will she?
well, no promises.
I would like
but
to be right behind him and say it simply depends on the situation.
How'd you get here?
All right.
It's just important
Think
that
easy
we
pops
all
up.
understand that diplomatic relations are at a precarious point at this time, and I am doing my best to mend things and show the Hearth that our way forward is in unity with the rest of the universe.
Does he have a rank? What is his
Rank is specialist. He's not
Specialist.
Starfleet, but they've given him rank specialist.
Specialist Dion. Thank you for your concern. I have a particular set of talents that let me understand just how precarious this situation is.
Very good.
And I am a Starfleet professional.
Wonderful.
Thank you.
I did not mean to begrudge your reputation, merely just make sure we're all understood. There are others of the Hearth who do not share my views as far as unity and collaboration and would rather close our planet and be insular, and I do not agree with these views. And I would just like to make sure we all do everything we can to show the Hearth that it is much more beneficial for us to all work together than to shut everyone else out.
Given how things ended last time, anything we can do to repair the situation, we will do, and we are all, as Morgan said, professionals on the ship.
Indeed, sir.
We have made such entreaties once before.
Mm-hmm. And hope to gain more trust. Let's beam down.
I'm assuming you're going to contact Gojia first. Yeah. Okay, you've contacted Gojia and they're expecting you. You beam down within their, or just outside their council chambers. There's a security team waiting for you as well. Mm-hmm. Security team notices you, Mr. Rield.
Yes.
Gojia would like to speak with you. I assume that it is good news.
Very well. Is this specifically like speaking with me alone, or?
I believe that is your decision.
Well, then I say let's all go in together until we're told otherwise.
It'd be nice to see you again.
All right. They lead you into the council, and Gojia is there with her council. There is some murmur, as they do notice Starfleet as well. But Gojia gives some eyes, and it settles down quickly. It's like, John, welcome back.
It is my pleasure to be back with the crystal.
You have the crystal.
Indeed. Through the cooperation with Starfleet, we were able to retrieve it from the shuttle.
There's also a murmur around the council area. May we see it? We haven't actually seen it yet.
Of course.
She walks over and just beaming as she takes the crystal. And there is kind of, again, a lot of chatter. It's like, well done, Stian. Well done. You exceeded our expectations. Thank you. Very, very speedy recovery.
Indeed. I honestly was a little worried about the ease with which the crystal was retrieved, but we all did our due diligence, and we found no deception, no traps of any kind, no. It still honestly sits a little strange with me. And I would have the Hearth do everything they can once again to study the crystal, and there's a great detail before, inserting it back in the machine and such.
Of course. But that will happen.
Much of that speed is almost entirely due to Starfleet's participation in this operation.
Clearly, and Captain, I believe.
Yes.
You have our thanks.
It is the least I could do.
We will keep that within our thoughts. She turns around. There's a security detail, heavily armed security detail, coming over, hands off the crystal to some researchers, and there are probably 20 people surrounding these people, and they take the crystal away down towards where the kindred was. They do take it down towards the kindred. We will be doing further research on this and learning more about who we are, at least we hope. Captain? You seem to be the conduit for the information, though. So we do seem limited in what we can accomplish. But you are not Hearth, so we can't and would not presume to ask any more than what you have already given us. We sincerely thank you for everything.
maybe somewhere down the line when I have less responsibilities, I can avail myself to you. But I don't know what person I will be then, so I make no promises.
That's fair. I don't think any of us know who we are from one day to the next, really. So that's fair, but we do sincerely thank you for this, for bringing us into a new age. And what the future of that age will be, who knows? Maybe Stian is right. Maybe there is room for the universe on Hearth. There's some grumblings, but there also seems like there are people that are supportive of the idea.
Right. It would seem one of the things that I learned in the Kindred was that there is some connection from the Hearths to things off the planet. I don't know if that connects you to the universe, but there's something there.
There is. There's something out there as well. Maybe there are more like us. Somewhere out there. And maybe we should find them. Stian, your mission was completed.
I would like to humbly request, if it is amicable to the Hearth and to the captain, that I continue with Starfleet, lending my knowledge and expanding knowledge of the Hearth from the universe and to the universe. I feel that even in this short period of time, much progress has been made in bridging the cultures and bringing all of us together, and I would like to continue that path.
Captain, I'm unfamiliar with Starfleet protocols.
He was assigned the role of specialist. That has not been rescinded. And my ship does need a science officer.
And he has performed adequately?
Admirably.
Give us a moment to discuss, Captain.
Of course.
Gulja turns and the council kind of gathers together, leaving you all in the center of the meeting hall, if you will. There are a lot of people around, a lot of conversations around, a lot of people debating. You overhear things about the value of Starfleet, some even the value of other organizations, if you will. You hear people bring up Klingons, you hear people bring up other things, but...
I kind of want to talk to him, too.
Do it. Talk
I
to
didn't
him.
know this was
Yeah.
coming. You're there as well. Obviously, it's a little trio. Are you certain that you wish to leave your planet behind?
Oh, absolutely, Captain. I mean, not that I will not miss my planet, but I've been with you less than a day, and already I feel my purpose more strongly than I have ever felt it in the entire span of my life. And seeing their reaction, and then even acknowledging officially that perhaps the way forward is together, you don't understand how momentous that is for my people. I expected to be met with resistance, xenophobia, and a begrudging thanks for you.
Mm-hmm.
That reaction was far more than I could ever dream I'd get from you.
Captain, I can corroborate this sentiment. It's palpable.
Just understand that this will not be a lark, and that the expectations for a Starfleet officer are high, and I will expect you to comport to them at all times. Understood?
Absolutely, Captain, and I will do my best to exceed them.
And if I may add, you had stated earlier that it was very simple to get this crystal.
Indeed, it seemed so.
Depending on when you came aboard, because the pursuit of this crystal cost us our captain.
Indeed.
I think it might be best. I understand that you have been raised in a very tight-knit community. And I can tell that you are absolutely fulfilled at the idea of being able to escape it. But there's more out there than you understand. And I would be careful to make judgments like that without all of the information.
Agreed. And I did not mean the entire path was simple. I merely meant finding that shuttle with no one aboard and the crystal sitting unguarded was
All I'm saying
worrisome.
is that there was a lot contributing to that empty shuttle. And part of that included the death of our captain. Just because it looked easy to you doesn't mean it was easy for everyone.
I understand.
Thank you.
And part of what I look forward to is everything I can learn from all of you, all your different cultures, and everyone we encounter.
Well, if your stay with us is granted, the first thing you must do is review the mission logs, starting from when this mission was assigned to our previous captain.
I would love to, and in fact, any off time I have, if there is such a thing as a Starfleet officer, I would fully plan on spending in the archives and studying as much as possible. And
You will have time. Sometime.
Goja does approach. You see her approaching from the side. He's like, Captain, if it is acceptable to you, the Council would like to extend the offer to Starfleet that Stian be a permanent representative on board the Mazu as a gesture of goodwill and a step towards our further relationships.
It is acceptable.
Stian.
it would be my highest honor to be that representative. And it is important to me that all the Hearth know that I represent them, not just the ones who agree with my ways of thought and my ways of going forward. I know there are many who disagree with much of what I believe, and I respect that, and believe that is also important to the Hearth and their culture, and they must also be represented. I do not view them as adversaries or foes, but as my people, who must be listened to equally as those who agree with my own sentiments.
We'll say it's Jan, and I think there are changes afoot. Good journey, Stian. Good journey, Captain.
Good journey, and I do think I would be remiss with my chief security officer here to not point out that returning the crystal to you is like putting a target on your planet.
We have had these discussions. It has become clear that for whatever reason there are those who wish to gain access to what the Hearth possess.
If I may add, not simply wish, will do anything in their power.
Noted.
And there is some great power out there.
That has also been noted. And I thank you for your concern.
And all the more reason that we need as many allies as possible. All of us, not just the Hearth.
Understood.
Thank you.
Captain, before you leave, what is Starfleet?
Do you want a practical definition, or?
I want you to tell me what Starfleet is.
Starfleet is an alignment of disparate ideas, coming to an agreement that by cooperation you can lead to discovery and peace for as many beings in the universe as possible. And that more ideas and more beliefs lead to better results than one singular idea pushing forward all on its own.
Good journey, Captain.
Good journey to you. 3 to beam up.
You beam up back on the Mazu.
Make the noise.
Huh?
Make the noise.
Wee wee wee. I'm back.
Forgot I had the noise for a minute there.
I can't help it. Titter like a schoolboy.
Okay, what's next?
Welcome aboard.
Can I have been looking at those scanners and just seeing if there's any new information?
Sure. Give me reason and science check. Difficulty 1. I'll even let you get a ship assist of sensor and science.
Alright, I'll go ahead and spend one since we got so much. What'd you say, reason and
Reason and science?
science?
Is this while we're away?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like this would have been, yeah. That's at least 3 plus the ship assist.
Ship assist to sensor and science. Hey, Captain.
Hey, sensor and
Sorry.
science.
Sensor and science, ship assist.
Sensor and science.
That's
ship
12.
assist.
Just roll it.
Boop. 12.
So,
You said 12. I gave
So
you
bring
12.
it back. Cool. So you got 4 momentum on there, so
Yeah.
you can have some extra information. You did get the sensor sweeps going on. You had the ones you were able to recover were
Yeah.
the ones in the Yig and outside the Kindred.
yeah.
The Kindred one was destroyed.
The one that was in the Yig was the one that the panel was off of, right?
Exactly.
Okay.
Yes. You were looking for information specifically about the crystal, or
Just basically looking to see if there's just kind of doing a download on all the information.
Okay.
Did they pick up anything? I mean, I guess I would have already seen the results of what they picked up.
what do you mean
at
the
the
results of
time.
what they picked up?
So like basically whatever they picked up at the time, like whatever they picked up until the point where they were basically pulled and transported back up would have been sent
Okay.
back to the ship, right? So I'm just looking at those for
Okay, so you're going over all the sensor data that was picked up. You notice a couple of things. You notice, I will say this, let's just boil it down to the most important thing you notice. When the Yig powered, the crystal underwent a physical change. You can burn some momentum, I'll give you a little more.
yeah.
It started to appear to change structure. It was originally a hexagonal crystalline structure. You saw that start to shift into what is not a crystalline structure that one has ever found in nature. It was a dodecagonal crystalline structure. If you want to burn, I'll give you some more information. You also noticed at the same time that there was a disruption within the subspace field around the crystal itself. And if you burn one more, I'll give you the last one.
Do it.
Here we
We
go.
have so much.
do it.
You're able to determine that when the crystal is powered, it changes its physical structure in such a way that it exists simultaneously in this space and in subspace as a physical entity. It's like it's crossing those barriers and existing in the same place at the same time.
That's wild. Huh. So, well, that doesn't give me a whole lot more information on how it could be repaired,
Right.
nor does it tell me much about how it could potentially be used. Like, can I draw any conclusions from that?
No. Basically, well, I think the conclusion you could draw is that you know of no way to synthesize a substance that would
Definitely
exist.
can't synthesize that.
No.
Can't repair it.
Not with the tech that you've got.
I just... Okay. Are they back on the ship yet?
Yeah.
The noise happened.
That's right. The
noise
noise
did
happened.
Then I will check in. I'll calm the commander,
Kami.
captain.
Yep.
What are did the Hearth say anything to you about their plans for protecting that crystal? I've been doing a little more research on it, hoping that maybe I could help them repair it, but it looks like that crystal is actually more unique than I originally realized, which makes it that much more valuable. Absolutely irreplaceable, and therefore the parties who want it will come back for it, I think, or try to find another. I don't know what to do with any of this information.
Well, what's special about it?
So when the Yig was powered, when the crystal was in use, it was actually changing structure in such a way that it could simultaneously exist both in real space and subspace as a physical thing simultaneously, which is, weird. But that's definitely not a piece of. I certainly don't have any knowledge of how to synthesize or repair that crystal at all. Yeah.
Well, they didn't tell me how they were planning on protecting it. It appeared they were sending it back down to its original location within the kindred. They said they had discussed that they knew the crystal was an object that would be or could be taken by force, and they seem to have some plans which they didn't wish to discuss with me, which I understand.
Well, then I guess we just let Starfleet know that the crystal's been delivered back and we head on our way?
Yes, it seems like one must do, and a recommendation that perhaps we should up patrols within the area.
Of course, given that at least one of the interested parties appears to be someone within Starfleet.
Well, we can't do much about that. We have to have protection for the planet, even if it puts them at risk from a interested party within Starfleet. That's still better than a Romulan invasion.
Then I guess the best we can do is just continue and try to catch up with Prescott before anyone else gets to her.
Yes, and we must, in almost all cases, appear as if we don't know anything. And if we don't know that there are elements within Starfleet acting against Starfleet's interests.
Well, if you send back a report, it will be interesting to see what response is called, I guess.
We will. I have to take this.
All right.
I have to take this. Just a minute. Okay, I'll bring that back.
Nelson's on. Captain Admiral Davis on a secure frequency.
Take it in the ready room.
Going to the ready room, and Admiral Davis pops on. Captain, what the hell did you do?
In what way?
We just got a petition from the Hearth to join the Federation.
Yes.
Well, well, we the crystal we recovered it and returned it to the hearth.
Well done.
And the specialist who had joined the mission petitioned the Hoth to remain as a specialist with Starfleet, and I agreed. Which I don't know which piece put them over the top. I would assume it's Return of the Crystal.
That's a good assumption to make.
Yes, I think that perhaps while I enjoy the specialist company, that maybe he's made some people angry upon Hoth, and I'd be happy to see him off planet for as long as possible.
Okay, is he going to be good on your crew?
Oh, yes.
Okay.
I just think he's an advanced thinker. Sometimes can be an annoyance to those who wish to remain more staid.
Fair point, Captain. Captain, we've been in negotiations with the Hearth to join the Federation for ages. And you and the Mazu, in the matter of a few days, has spurred them into action to petition and join the Federation. I don't know what you did, but you did a damn fine job. A damn fine job, Captain.
I was the right person in the wrong place. That's the only thing that got this started.
I don't know about that. I have a feeling if you're in the right place and you're the wrong person, it's not going to work. You're the right person in the right place to get the shit done.
I didn't swear this time.
That's right.
It's not me.
So, well done, Captain. Anything we should be aware of with the Hearth? We're going to expedite this request in through the channels. Anything we should be aware of?
The crystal, through analysis by our chief engineer, has much more potential, and for being a power source, and I'll send you the details. It can exist both in real space and subspace at the same time, giving it the powers comparable to that of the strong and weak nuclear force.
Well, all right then. That was unexpected.
It is quite unexpected, and it means that as I told Godia, there's a target on the hearth. And if we can expedite, as you said, their admission into Starfleet, it can only be for their protection. It can only be to their benefit.
Understood.
Because people want it.
Clearly. All right, well said, Captain. I will discuss things with the Admiralty. We will expedite this request to join. We do have some patrols that I think that I will discuss with the Admiralty about redirecting into the area around the hearth. And we will discuss with their planetary security ways that we may be able to assist in defending their technology. Captain, well done.
Thank you, Admiral.
Well done.
We are still dealing with the issue of the saboteur on a ship.
Yes, any updates on that?
We've interrogated the subject while in the second personality. We got some useful information from it.
Captain, I don't want to make your life even more difficult. I want to remind you of the importance of the Hearth request to join the Federation. I believe that this saboteur is responsible for the death of 6 of their security personnel.
This is true.
Okay. I have confidence in you, Captain. You'll make the correct decisions. Please be aware, I believe the Hearth deserves some justice as well.
Agreed. However, I will not sacrifice a Starfleet officer who has been manipulated to please anyone.
Well said, Captain. Now we just need to figure out how to convince the hearth that that's a rational position.
It'll take some doing, I'm sure.
Well said. Status of your current mission with Dr. Prescott.
Well, that's where we would like our next focus to be now that we've put Hearth in a better situation than we found her, finally, and recovered the crystal and have a full complement. I think it's time to make that our primary mission.
Agreed. Do you have any other leads other than last position?
That's all we have for now.
Understood. Well, I trust you to proceed in the best way possible. Keep these things in mind. Keep thinking of the hearth. They need justice as well. Understood?
Understood.
Understood. Davis out. Not to make your life any more difficult.
No, it's fine. It's fine. We'll just let the Hearth kick her in the head.
Well, aside from that, that's not our admiral that we report to, correct?
No, that's our buddy Admiral.
No, that's what we report to, isn't it?
No.
No, that's
Grosich is
Grosich.
technically.
It's not Grosich.
Grosich is technically-
I know. Don't worry. Don't worry. Like I said, and this is out of character. But like I said, we have to keep the appearance that we don't know.
I think none of us are privy to that conversation.
No,
That's true,
none of
yeah.
us are privy.
He also didn't mention we did actually get a lot more information than he just told Davis.
I know.
So
I know.
It's true.
I want to see the look on Grosich's face when you say Operation Hammer and Operation Anvil. Personally.
He's gonna go like this. Ruh, ruh, ruh.
Ruh, ruh, ruh. So anything else you guys want to do? Or are we going to call it?
Should you talk to Grosich?
He should be contacting me. After I just did
Has
something
he,
amazing.
though? Has he, though? Has
No,
he ever
I'm
contacted?
waiting. I'm waiting.
Gonna let him call.
I'd like to send a message to relevant crew member screens, anyone in senior staff, the primary JV squad, anyone who served kind of primarily with Captain Rawl, and it says Arboretum, a time that would be within the shift rotation, the most people would be available,
Okay.
and bring your favorite bottle. And I just send that out to all the screens, and then I am there in the Arboretum waiting at that time.
And we can say that it's about that time.
Okay.
You know, you're looking at about a decent shift change, and you're at a point where you've gotten rest,
Yep.
but the rest of you haven't really gotten much rest. Well, you two actually have gotten a little bit of rest.
We,
The rest of
we
you
each got a nap.
you got a nap, yeah.
Yeah.
You can
Just
say that
been grabbing
we're
fixed these
approaching we're approaching a good shift change time, so that we can make that happen. And you do start seeing some of the crew show up. You do see Nelson show up. You see McCourt. Others of the JV squad that show up, but those are the two that have done the most. I guess obviously Dorsch will show up.
Oh yeah, clearly.
Of course not.
I did his arm.
And the usual. Anybody else going?
Oh, I am.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Tushek, you want to come?
In her shackles.
I'm actually gonna. Yeah, I think he'll be okay with this. I'm gonna swing by your quarters and just say we haven't really had a chance to chat yet, but I think you should tag along on this.
Gladly.
Just kind of watch.
That's generally my
Yeah,
MO.
you seem like it. Oh, and I also I put a bottle of what you probably don't recognize as whiskey in your hand, and just say, just bring that.
Can you drink it?
Bring it for now.
You got it.
So as everyone kind of gathers and mills about, I wait for, give a good amount of time to make sure that the most people are there, and then I just kind of step up into a position in front of the group and kind of not the finest at public speaking, so I apologize for any of my typical uncouthness or awkwardness. We had the official memorial for Captain Rawl, and I know that loss is still raw for me, and I know it probably is for a number of you as well. Back in the Resistance, when a sister or brother would fall, we had our own tradition of rallying together in a safe space and sharing drinks and sharing stories about our time and our service. I know we've only been together a few weeks. It's been a very eventful and trying few weeks, and so we don't have a lot of stories to share, and a number of them we probably wouldn't even want to, but
Quality over quantity.
I thought it right and proper for those who knew her best to gather here and share a drink to honor her service and her legacy. I've had to come to terms recently with the fact that my impulse to help and to heal isn't always going to allow me to be the most proactive, to do the most good. The commander, the best I could do was ease his suffering to help him transition into where he is now. And with Tashek, our sister downstairs in the brig right now, struggling with her own conflict, and who knows how that's going to wind up. Every solution I try to find seems like it would only complicate things further. And so it's probably best to let things run their course in that regard as well, and see how they come along. What I feel like I can do right now is to gather us here to try and help heal some of the wounds that we've suffered together. I'd like to be the first to raise a bottle to Captain Rawl, who will remain with us, and to our new captain as well. Large shoes to fill, but large feet to fill them. And then Déjà pas à Romain.
Yours.
I'll yield the floor to anyone else who wants to speak now. I've used up all the words I'm allowed.
May I?
Please.
I didn't have the pleasure of knowing her, Captain. I did have the honor of being at her death ritual. It is with great regret that I will never know the person who sacrificed everything to be a part of ushering in what is surely to be known as a milestone of historic proportions for my people and my planet, and hopefully for all of us working together. I look forward to hearing as many stories as you all have about her, so that I may get to know her through you, and know one of the people responsible for this incredible and momentous transition that I have only dreamed possible.
Hear, hear.
The ship has retired the last few captains. been a while. We have not had a whole hell of a lot of purpose up until Captain Rawl arrived. I still don't fully understand why this crew was brought together, but it was very clearly done so intentionally. And she was one of the finest captains I have had the pleasure of serving with. Never mind, certainly the finest the ship has seen in my tenure here. She always had her sleeves rolled up, and she was right down in the thick of it with us every time. Everything was very personal. She had what seemed a very genuine interest in every last member of this crew. She was fearless in a way I haven't seen in a very long time. Right to the last. I don't know where we go next, but we're going together. And we're going in her honor, in the way she wanted us to.
Together. If that's all, if everybody,
No,
as people
allow
can-
me, allow me.
Please.
Several weeks ago, and what seems like a lifetime, the captain and I had our first one-on-one conversation in here. And we talked about Starfleet, and we talked about our lives and where we saw ourselves. Captain Roll always believed in me more than I believed in myself. I came aboard this ship looking for high adventure. And what I found was the place where I needed to be. I spoke to Rawl about duty, about sacrifice, and how she needed to be prepared to sacrifice the people on this ship for mission goals that would likely be necessary. And instead she sacrificed herself so that no one else had to. I cannot be as good of a captain as she was. She's the captain you deserved. I'm the captain that you have. But I will do my best to follow up on what she laid forth for all of us. And I pick up the bottle I brought. This is the captain's whiskey. She left this behind. Put your bottles down, because we're all drinking from this. And I go around, I pour some out for everybody. And when I come to you, I pour, and then I lean in, and I say, I need a first officer.
I need someone who will disagree with me.
I assume not in this particular moment.
No, not now.
Yost.
Tyrol.
Tyrol.
Roll.
Hold on.
Oh,
Tyrol. All of them.
As the group starts to kind of eventually splinter apart, I approach Morganth. Commander, I wanted to apologize for my tone and behavior earlier. I know you were trying to help and trying to advise me as best you could. It's been difficult for me to accept certain situations of late. I've been having something of a crisis of faith. I felt like the prophets had told me that Rawl had a great destiny ahead of her, and that I should be there to support her and be there by her side. And so losing her has hit me on a very deep level, but after my blow up, I had some time to think while I was going over the data and looking into the topics you recommended. And it occurred to me that they didn't speak to me in words. It was more of an impression. They have a great destiny. They'll need you. Support them. I don't think they meant Rawl alone. I think they meant the Mazu. I think they meant this crew. And everyone on it. And whatever rows we've had in the past, I want you to know that I have always respected and admired you. And that I will have your back in any capacity you need me. I'm going to put a hand forward.
Kate? You're Starfleet. Of course you'll have my back. The same way I'll have yours. But may I say, as far as this ship goes, we need you more concerned with our present than with our destiny.
Aye, sir.
Obviously, I'm headed back to the brig.
Obviously. McCourt comes up to you. Captain, I'm heading up to my run. Do we have a course?
Do we? What was the last information?
105.
Set to 105. Lay it out.
Back to 105.
Speed, Captain.
Might waste time.
Warp 9. Yes, sir. McCourt leaves. You're heading back to the brig.
Doctor, Izzy gave me this bottle to honor Captain Rawl, and I drank each time you drank. I don't feel well.
Come to sick bay. I've got a special hypo for just an occasion like this. You're gonna be fine.
I'm
And
sorry, friend.
You're if it's any consolation, that right there makes you part of this crew now.
Thank
If
you,
anything.
Doctor.
Let's just okay. All right, let's just we'll move with a little more haste.
You don't have one with you?
I only had the one bottle of Bajoran ale.
You don't always have the thing in your
That
pocket.
was for the party when we were doing like party drinking.
Oh, I'm so curious to see Cade's medical equipment now, like, and how it's organized. This is my party hypo spray. This is my mission
Party
hypo
hypo
spray.
spray.
That's my quick sober.
This is my Sunday morning hypo spray.
Right.
Okay.
Morning hypo spray.
Course is set. Ship is underway to 105. Anything else, or are we going to call it a night?
Oh, let's
I think
just
that's it.
call
Call it, yeah.
Call it a night. So we're going to call it a night, everybody.
Unless you're gonna spring something else on
No,
us.
no.
Why would you even say it?
Because I've been waiting for another shoe to drop this entire episode, and I'm so tightly wound.
No, Cindy, that's why we call it. And then say, like, no take backsies. And roll the credits.
That way next week kicks off with a shoe
Roll the
drop.
credits. We'll be back in a week, y'all. Thanks for hanging out with us tonight. Remember, like, share, subscribe, do all the fun stuff. Thanks, everybody, for playing. We'll see you next week to see what happens back at Starbase 105. Can they pick up the trail of Dr. Prescott? We'll see. I don't know. But we'll see what happens, and we'll see you all next time. Remember, take care of yourselves. Take care of each other. Good night, everybody.
Drink water.